It is double o'clock. And you are listening to the Best of Bond with your hosts Tylord and Wubs.
I must say, it's lethal.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Best of Bonds with your hosts Wubs and Tylord. And today we are joined by Dave the LOCH, is over here to talk about Die Another Day with us. It's a long time in the making. We've been putting off our review series for many months. We kind of didn't want this episode to end because we didn't want to leave Die Another Day behind us. Did I say Die Another Day or did I say No Time to Die? Let me start.
I think it was Die Another Day,
Okay.
but I'm not.
I think it was Die Another Day.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
We definitely want to leave No Time to Die like very, very far behind us. So.
Okay. This is just a movie we all adore, and I know that's not the popular opinion, but Wubs and I have been looking forward to this episode for a long time, and we brought aboard Dave here. You know, Dave has some unpopular opinions. Jaws the Revenge.
Yes, I do.
Jaws the Revenge being one of them. We got to do a Jaws the Revenge episode. But I just couldn't wait to gush. This is not going to be so much a review. It's going to be a Die Another Day appreciation. What is it, 24 years old? The 24-year anniversary appreciation of Die Another Day, Pierce Brosnan's last James Bond film. To me, it's the last film of the series because they sort of started over with the Daniel Craigs, and we'll get to that soon. I can't wait to, because I haven't seen the Daniel Craigs in a while. I can't wait to get back to that, but this is sort of ends the whole series actually. To me, Bond 20, the 20th film, it was a big event back then. It was was it the 40th anniversary? Since
2002, right?
Yeah, since 2002 since Dr. No, and it was a big deal, and I don't know if it's looked upon too well, but for us it is. But I'm glad you guys are here with me to talk about this. How you guys doing? I'll start with you, Wubs. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing great. The anticipation for this is it's like a new Bond film coming out almost because of how much we built this one up. If you've been watching our series, you know that I can't go a single episode without talking about Die Another Day, and we're finally there. So, strap in.
Excellent. and thanks for joining us again, Dave. It's always a pleasure to have you here. How you doing, buddy?
Oh no. I'm doing really good. I'm glad you've had me along for this because, like you say, about my opinions not being the ones that people agree with. But yeah, Die Another Day, I'm here to sing its praises. It's a great movie, so yeah, I can't wait.
No one wants to hear a review of good movies.
Yeah.
Like why would you want to hear, like, that's not interesting at all. Like
Well, I've thought that for years though, when people are like, oh, what's your favorite films? And everybody's like, oh, Citizen Kane, or Gone with the Wind, and it's like, well, anybody can watch them. They're brilliant.
Yeah, it's like, what are you in film school? Like, no, what do you actually like?
Well, I've said this loads of times coming from the UK, but I've always thought you can get anybody from the UK when they've been out for days drinking with their friends. When they get back home, they're watching Death Wish 3, not Citizen Kane. You know what I mean? It's just like
100%.
Yeah.
And you know what? So are the directors, right? Carpenter and Tarantino. That's what they're watching. They're watching Death Wish 3 too. They're not watching Gone with the Wind.
and as well, I almost admire though anybody who could come back in from the pub at like midnight and watch Gone with the Wind, and then you go bed at like 5 a.m. because it's on for 5 hours.
Oh yeah, that's some dedication. I think I'd rather do Jaws the Revenge on like repeat for 2 hours, two or three viewings.
You know what though? Me too.
Yeah.
How have we not done Jaws the Revenge though? I mean, that's great. We did Die Another Day before Jaws the Revenge. Well, we'll get there eventually.
Double feature: Alien Resurrection and Jaws the Revenge.
Yeah, we
at like 2 a.m. Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I think if you watch them two films back to back, you probably open a portal and you
right.
unlock the secrets to the universe or something.
That's why no one has ever done it, and no one knows how the universe works. That's why they've never tried it.
Right. Well,
That's true.
well, I guess we're gonna try to praise Die Another Day for an hour and a half and keep a straight face. No, no,
It'll
but
be
I, no,
very
oh, it'll
easy.
be easy for me too. I was just being sarcastic, but uh, but I guess
Well, I think we're probably going to get to this eventually anyway, but I think with
uh,
Die Another Day, I really do feel like the more time progresses, it just is like, and almost like the greatest hits of a James Bond movie. It's like, what? It's got a gun barrel in the proper place. It's got an Aston Martin. It's
yeah,
got Q. It's got a sexy woman. It's got, God, it's like, what? How can anybody not like this movie?
yes,
It's just
right,
Well, it's
like,
got it's got like five of everything you just said,
yep,
not just
yeah,
one. It's got like
yeah,
it's everything in the formula like
yeah,
cranked up to the max. They broke
yeah.
the scale with this film
Oh, they do,
on like all of the formula stuff.
yeah, yeah,
well, even something as simple as the gun barrel being at the start.
yeah,
Because you could say what you want about all these different James Bond movies. Oh, they've cast this person, or some people don't like the title songs, or some people don't like the poster or something. I never would have ever seen. I never would have thought I'd have seen a James Bond film where the gun barrel wasn't at the start. It's just
yeah,
like,
Right.
what? What's that about?
yeah.
It's so weird.
It
I
is.
feel like they did that just to be different, when they do a
Yeah,
reboot,
yeah.
really.
I guess
But
you will get to that one next, but I can sort of I can excuse Casino Royale because it's like oh he's becoming Bond at the beginning of the opening title
yeah.
pre-title and then it goes into the song. I can give it that one, but there's no excuse for the next. We'll get into that next time. Yeah, yeah. There's anyway, but this one. I just wanted to ask you guys what you thought about it when you first saw it at the theater when it came out in 2000, or whether you saw it on VHS or DVD. When you first saw it, your first viewing of this, I want to know what you guys thought about it. I know for me it was I was really hyped up for this because I enjoyed what do you call it? The World Is Not Enough, but I don't think it was my favorite one.
Mhm.
And so I was hoping like I'd really like this one. So maybe I hyped it a little bit too much up in my head because I I heard it was gonna be have Halle Berry, like it was gonna be a big movie and it was gonna have Madonna doing the title song. I was really excited to hear what the title song was gonna sound like. And I heard Michael Madsen was gonna be in it. I guess probably because Lee Tamahori directed and
Mhm.
he wanted to put Michael Madsen in it. I go, wow, this is going to be a big epic movie, and I was really into Bond at that time. Like I was going back and watching all the movies, so I was hoping. I mean, I hope this is going to be a good callback to all the movies I like. So I was hyped up for
Mhm.
it. I may have been a little bit cynical at that time. I think everyone else was too because the Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, we were getting a lot of big epic movies that everyone was enjoying, and I was hoping, man, this live up to Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and whatever.
Harry Potter was just
Harry
starting.
Potter, yeah, and it's not really like James Bond can directly like replicate that. A lot of times James Bond will replicate whatever movie is popular at the time, like we've seen it with Jaws and black exploitation and kung fu and Star Wars before,
Mhm.
but it can't really directly. Although this one's probably more Star Wars than Moonraker. But I mean, I think maybe they're because they had a little bit of sword fighting. It sort of played into that Lord of the Rings type. I think maybe that's the only thing
Yep.
I could think of. But I remember I was really hyped for it, and I went in. I think I went in with my girlfriend. My wife at the time was my girlfriend. I think we went in with a bunch of group of people, and I think we all enjoyed it. Of course, we everyone was so cynical for the CGI, and I really hate myself for hating on CGI now. Like there's so much more to be angry with on a movie than the CGI. Like CGI is just the natural progression of movies. I see that now. I didn't really care for some of the CGI, but I mean it's just an art form, just like all the movies in the past use practical effects.
Mhm.
So I don't really have anything bad. At the time, I was like, man, think about all those cool stunts in the old Bond movies with like real stuntmen jumping off of planes and all that. And there's still a lot of that in here in this one. But anyway, I remember I was superly, thoroughly enjoyed this one. I was hoping that we would go on and see more in this style. I liked seeing John Cleese's take on Q. I was hoping for another 10 movies with that duo or that chemistry between Pierce and John Cleese, and yeah, I just really
Oh
liked.
yeah.
And I remember the villains in this were very memorable. I mean, they're really corny, over the top, silly villains, but I remember they really stuck with me. I liked Elliot Carver a lot, but I think these guys stuck with me more than Elliot Carver or even Electra and Renard. These guys know, even though they were very weird, they really stuck with
Well,
me.
as subtle as Mr. Kill is,
Yeah, yeah.
that name is really memorable.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
kind of forgot there was a guy named. I mean,
Mr.
that's
That's
an
a name to
impressive
die
name.
for. Yeah, that's a name to die for. Yeah, but anyway, but what did you guys think? Sorry, I went on so long about that. I just went a long time to
No, it's
talk
okay.
about. Yeah, but what do you guys think about when you first saw this? What did you guys think?
Well,
Yeah. Who do you want to
Oh,
go,
oh,
Dave? Go
oh, go
ahead.
ahead, Dave. Yeah,
oh yeah. Well, I went with my dad and my best friend, and
yeah,
I literally was just like, "Oh my god, a new James Bond movie!" And I was just
yeah.
so up for it, like you were saying, Tylord, and I just literally thought it looked so impressive from the trailers, and but I thought the poster was cool, and talk about like something as simple as the gun barrel being at the start. But
Mhm,
I don't know, it's just such a little silly little memory that stays with me. But so
mhm.
I nearly always get to the cinema, before the film starts. But
Yeah,
when me and my dad and my best friend were there, and some people came in late to the screening, and he came in just as the gun barrel was starting,
yeah.
and they were stood in front of me when the gun
Oh
barrel
no.
came on. I was like, no.
Oh,
It didn't really, really annoy me, but I was just like, anytime I watch Die Another Day, I always think the very first time I saw this, somebody was standing in front of me when the gun barrel was on.
Oh no.
But that was the least of, because I enjoyed the film, so it was like it was all uphill from there. But yeah, sorry,
Mhm.
Wubs, what do you think?
oh no, no. Keep going, Dave. Don't
Yeah.
let me. No, go
Yeah,
ahead.
but
Keep
yeah,
going.
to me it was just like I think we alluded to it earlier on that like to me that like now this is like such a great James Bond movie. I think some films just age so well, and I always enjoyed it anyway. But just some of the set pieces are great. The story's good. Like I say, the villains are memorable. The Aston Martin's really cool. The title song's great. There's just so much about this film. It just works on so many levels, and I think it's ever such a shame that like now this kind of style of filmmaking is considered like a bit hokey or and I hate the word,
Hmm.
but that people would say cheesy and things like that. But
Hmm.
like to me, it's just so watchable. It's such a lot of fun, and one thing I've just thought though as well, because Lee Tamahori passed away recently, didn't he? And it's just like it's
Mhm.
crazy
Yeah.
to think to be like Bond directors in my lifetime have passed away. It's like how was that even possible?
Yeah.
So I didn't think he was that old, really.
Yeah. So
Well,
yeah.
you're just outliving them, Dave. It's that health you're doing the James Bond Health Club
Yeah.
routine, right? That's
Yeah.
you've cut out the white bread.
So yeah, just anything
Yeah.
healthy I don't do. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I've probably said this a million times, but like I'm always quote unquote paranoid about getting old, and like I hate the thought of like dying. I guess who does, but at the same time, I do
Mhm.
almost nothing to sustain my existence. Like
Uh.
I drink all the time. I eat the
Uh.
worst possible food. Like it's just like But the one thing I don't do that is bad for you is sit out in the sun, but everything else I do. So it's like
Uh.
so James Bond is my idol in that regard. It's like, yeah,
Right,
it's like
yeah, I mean, he's the he's like your gym instructor.
Yeah.
it's true. Yeah. I'll have to go to shrublands one day for try to get healthy, and
Yeah.
then like say just
Yeah.
Right.
well, I know this is Die Another Day, so we really shouldn't talk about other James Bond movies as such, but
Yeah.
still one of my favourite Bond gadgets in Never Say Never Again when he's got the suitcase full of like vodka and foie
Yep.
gras
Yep.
and everything.
Yeah.
It's just but yeah, great movie, and like I say, it's one of them films where I really don't know how. Like, don't get me wrong, I know everybody's got their own favorite styles of Bond movies, and some people like the more serious ones, some people like the more silly ones. But I don't know you can be a Bond fan and not like this movie. It's not like they made a film where it's like dead introspective and he's like, he's sitting in a room for 3 hours not doing anything. It's like it's got everything you'd ever want in a Bond movie. It's like,
Yeah.
why can people not like it? It's just
Right.
mind-boggling to
Yeah.
me.
When I first saw it in 2002, it was in the theater. I did see it
Yeah.
first run, and I I think I was just I found it entertaining. It was not like ever on the level of like GoldenEye for me,
Yeah.
but as terms of like how much I liked it, until I would say possibly the lead up to this episode. It's like my appreciation. This is like the thing that has probably changed for me the most in the course of this. You know, we can get into it more later, but of doing this series with Tylord and you, Dave, is uh, my appreciation of this movie has grown so much through the course of doing it in the anticipation of watching it, and then watching it again didn't disappoint. So it was like this is I'm gonna make a crazy statement here right at the beginning and say I think this might be the most James Bond film of any James Bond film.
Yeah.
Really. Like it sounds crazy. I would
Yeah.
have never thought I would have said that watching it in 2002.
Yeah.
But the more that I think about it, and just like you said, it has everything.
Mhm.
There's nothing in this. There's nothing missing from this one from the formula, and
Mhm.
everything from the formula is just like cranked up to the max.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. No.
I think there was well, or the Bond producers, one of the only series of producers where they've got a film series that everybody liked, because this film made a ton of money. Even the attendance for it, because I watched a list of the 100 most attended movies in the UK, and Die Another Day was like in the top 15 or something like that.
All
Even
right.
counting
Wow.
things like Citizen Kane, Gone with the Wind, King Kong. It's like loads of people went to see this movie. It made a ton of money, and the Bond producers were like, let's do something different. And it's like
Hmm.
Wow.
everybody was on board, like, like everybody was enjoying it, and they're like, no, let's start again. It's like,
Wow.
what?
Yeah.
I blame Christopher Nolan for that,
Yeah.
for the early Batman movies he did, because it was like after that, I feel like that's what happened to basically every Hollywood studio. Everything had to be super dark after Batman Begins and Dark Knight, did so well.
Mhm.
I feel like, and Casino, of course,
Yeah.
came out
And I guess it
shortly after
and I guess
that.
they did profit from that because Casino was a big hit and it probably
Yeah.
it was good for the franchise. But
Mm.
but yeah, I don't know. Just from listening to like I watched this movie 3 times recently. Once on its own, once with the Lee Tamahori commentary, once with the Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan's such a cool guy. I love him even more now after I've been watching his commentaries. But even Pierce in that commentary, this was before Casino. I think the movie had just been released, and Pierce was so proud of it and happy with this movie, talking about, yeah, like we're always one trying to balance like humor, camp with like serious and like
Hmm.
the books, elements from the books, and more Fleming or more Hollywood, and there's always a good balance, but the humor and the I guess you could call it the camp is always there. It has to always be there in a Bond movie, and if you take it away, it takes away something that makes Bond Bond.
Hmm.
But I guess that they totally threw that out for the next one. But I mean I understand what he's saying. Like even
Well, they
even
downplayed it
yeah
though
yeah
in the next one, right?
yeah
It's
yeah
not totally
yeah I
gone. It's
guess
just
so
it's a
yeah yeah
darker kind of humor.
yeah
Oh,
yeah
sorry, I didn't mean to
yeah.
cut you off,
No,
but
you're right.
just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but listening to it with that with Pierce commentary, you could tell he's like Roger Moore, like he's really a big Bond fan, like and he
Hmm.
remembers all the stuff that happened. Like I think he's just as much as a fun guy to listen to commentaries as Roger Moore,
Wow.
Pierce Brosnan. But but anyway, the but we're talking about getting into the movie, like the intro, the gum barrel. We could talk about the intro of this movie and the pre-titles and the music titles and not only does this have the good James Bond formula, but it does some new things too. Um, that gun barrel Dave's talking about, poor Dave didn't get to see the gun barrel. Someone walked in front of him. But man, I was so hyped. I like almost leapt up in joy when I saw this gun barrel. Even though people complain it has the projectile. I guess that had never been done in a Bond movie. That projectile, the bullet.
Mm.
Everyone was
Hmm.
so offended by that. Like, okay, Bond is not dying. Bond does not have kids in the family. Like, why are you complaining about the damn bullet in the gun? Okay, anyway, but there's the music in there, the David Arnold score. I was kind of missing the last couple's it sort of played it different. It played the do 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 do, and then the bam da 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 da. This one goes back to it plays a little riff, the ding 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 ding. Yeah, like hell yeah. Like I hadn't seen that for a while since like GoldenEye. I don't. That's a minor thing, but I was really up on my feet about that. And then the whole score overall. And then we get to see some really talented surfing there, like three guys surfing on one giant
Yeah.
wave. And what this movie does well is it gives you that dark, like sort of claustrophobic, or not so much claustrophobic, that dark feel of North Korea, like everything's dark and the world's coming in on you.
Hmm.
Even though they filmed the thing, I think it was in either Hawaii or California or wherever to do that surfing. But you get three talented surfers surfing on giant waves to infiltrate the South Korea there or North Korea, pardon me. Um,
Yep.
but but the whole movie, I guess, this was all shot in Pinewood backlot. It really has that North Korean feel, though. I think they put a filter on it. Like the first
Hmm.
half hour of the movie has a darker filter
Yep.
to capture the feel of North Korea. But we get that cool opening with Bond and some of his buddies on surfboards, and then he takes on the identity, very Bond like. He takes on the identity of the diamond salesman, or who is he?
Yeah, he's the guy coming to buy the weapons,
The
right?
guy, the weapons
They
buyer.
intercept the
Yeah,
helicopter and
yeah,
he impersonates the guy. Yeah.
yeah. He impersonates the guy. So we get some Bond incognito, and then we meet the baddie. Um, that's a pretty cool actor. The guy that plays General Moon, no, Colonel Moon.
Hmm.
Colonel Moon's the son, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Colonel
Colonel.
Moon. Yeah, and you see him beating up a guy for talking back to him, or
Yeah.
beating up one of his own guys. He has him in a punching bag, and he's doing all these. That guy's a cool martial artist. Like he's been in some martial art movies. You can see he's like legit martial artist. He's kicking the hell out of that punching bag, and there's a guy inside of it. But
But
he's
that guy inside that bag, though,
yeah,
that's a brutal scene, really,
yeah,
for
it is. Yeah, it
like
is.
a
Yeah.
light.
Yeah, very Bond-esque scene, like a little humor, but also brutal. I mean, and then we see that he's like a crooked. I like the way they're even going back to the older Bond movies where they don't even make North Koreans look like they're all bad. It's just this guy's like a rogue North Korean that's crooked. Like before they would make the Russians not be the bad guys. It was Spectre. Remember, like the Cubby Saltzman would even not even vilify like the Russians. Like they would have like just like them be like rogue or bad organizations. In this movie, they even go to the extent like, oh look, not all North Koreans are bad. It's just this guy.
Yeah.
But
Right.
you kind of see it with the dad. It's not really that bad of a guy, because he sounds like he kind of wants peace and all that. The dad
Mhm.
or General
Yeah.
Well, I
Moon.
think we've said this. Well, I think we've
Yeah,
said this before, though. But that's one
yeah,
thing I love about films like this,
yeah,
where you think they would just be like, "Yeah, no, it's all North Koreans bad or whatever," and it's like,
yeah,
no, it's just this one guy.
yeah.
It's just like,
But we see someone sells out Bond's cover and he gets caught during the big deal. We meet Zhao, who's a cool henchman. I'm not really big on the whole changing Bond's race thing, which everyone seems to be obsessed with. But I think if there was going to be an Asian Bond, it should be that guy Rick Yoon. He's so freaking studly and handsome, and also another guy in this movie. If they're going to do a black Bond, that Colin Salmon who does like the auditions testing for the Bond girls, that guy's a stud. The guy that plays the chief of staff,
Oh
MI6.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
I
Right.
could see both of those
Yeah.
yeah,
choices. That makes sense.
Anyway, but off the subject. But so we get Bond gets sold out, but then he makes his big escape. Hovercraft fighting, shooting, really, really over the top. Pierce is really good at doing the action scenes. Um, and then as something unusual happens, I'll let you guys give your take in a minute. I just want to run through it. Bond actually, it looks like he kills General Moon, the main bad, who you think is the main baddie, and then his dad, um, uh, he kills Colonel Moon, and then General Moon, the dad, comes up. You killed my son, and the first time ever you see James Bond get captured, And
Mm-hmm.
for a long time, it's not like I remember this kind of bothered me when I was a youngster. Like, man, James Bond doesn't get captured for a year and a half. Like, he'd be out of there in a day. Like, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
But I mean, now that I watch it, I appreciate it more. But still, like, I was like, man, James Bond doesn't get captured for that long. But it plays
But
the opening intro plays into, like, it sort of progresses the story. We never saw that before, where you see him like being tortured during the Madonna song, which is kind
I
of
thought
a
that was kind of
yeah,
interesting
yeah,
though,
yeah,
the that he gets captured at the beginning. I
yeah,
had the same reaction when
yeah,
I was younger and saw it, like exactly. It was sort of like, this is weird that he would get captured so long. And now I can look back and say I think that's part of the progression, that
yeah,
the
yeah,
tone was changing even then, right? They were
yeah,
doing a darker sort of story
yeah,
from the beginning.
yeah. Yeah, you want to add
Well,
anything else to that, guys? Yeah, I just wanted to run through the beginning, but I wanted to give your guys' take of, like, the opening up of this movie, or what you guys thought.
Go ahead, Dave.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, I think that's a really good point, Ted, about how it was getting darker. That, like,
Yeah,
like, say, I think I just took it for granted at the time. It's like, oh yeah, it started off with James Bond with
yeah, yeah,
long hair and a beard, and he's been
yeah,
tortured. But now I feel like it's even more sort of brutal than the Daniel Craig films. There,
yeah,
it's Bond who's been captured and tortured, and I feel like that's so sort of not what this film I would have thought going into it. That, like, wow, it starts off with James Bond being tortured. It's
yeah,
just like that's not something you see all the time. And
yeah,
it was so the first 10, 15 minutes of this film are so action packed, and
yeah,
there's
Yeah.
so much stuff going on. It's just like just the scope of this movie is like just so grand that, like, say, it starts off like with all this elaborate like hovercraft chase and great explosions and everything, and he gets
yeah,
captured, and then he gets like prisoner transferred, and just that shot of him walking across the bridge where you don't
yeah,
know what's on, like all the mist and fog, you don't know what's on the other side of it, stuff like
yeah.
that.
That's one of
And
my
one of my
favorite
favorite,
scenes now. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Dave.
and one.
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite Bond lines, though, I really do think it's such an underappreciated joke in the James Bond movies. But when they get Bond back and they're doing that scan of his body and they're saying, "Oh, he's basically okay," but they kept giving him the poison and giving him the antidote. But they're saying, "Oh, his liver's messed up, so it's definitely him." And I
Yeah.
love that
Yeah.
Yeah.
they identified him because his liver's messed up. I
Yeah.
just thought that was cool.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
And as well, though, I think I said this on the Never Say Never Again one, but this is stuff that I never ever saw coming. But when the Money Penny in Never Say Never Again was always one of my childhood crushes. But it's only recently watching this film because I knew we were going to be doing this YouTube video. But when you very first see Judi Dench walk in as M, I was like, I never would have thought I'd found M attractive. It's just like,
Yeah.
but it just shows my taste in women is
Yes,
completely
as
all
we
over
get
the
older,
place.
yeah.
Yep.
It's like to me as a kid, if you
Yeah.
said, do you find Judi Dench attractive? You're like, no.
Yeah.
And it's like, apparently I do. But
Hey, in the 1960s, she was
Yeah.
she was
Yeah.
pretty impressive in the Midsummer Night's Dream film she did
Yeah.
with Ian Holm.
Oh yeah, huh?
I will I will have to check that out for research purposes. I
Yeah.
mean,
Right.
what did you think?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the intro is fantastic to this movie, I'd say. It's everything you said. It's really impressive and exciting. There's so much that happens in the first few minutes, and it's fast too. Like, you
Mhm.
got to really pay attention to what's going on to understand, like, just how it sets up the whole thing so well. He's on this mission, gets betrayed,
Mhm.
and he doesn't have any way out.
Mhm.
And that he broke the rule that Q taught him in the film right before this, that always have an escape plan,
Yeah.
right? And
Ooh, oh, that's good.
he didn't have a
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting to see that play out. And they manage, even with how dark it is, the North Korea oppression, the torture stuff, they still manage to make the scene hilarious at the end of the chase when he's just hanging off the gong,
Yeah.
like that's hitting the bell or
Yeah.
whatever, after the hovercrafts go over the cliff.
Uh-huh.
He thinks he's killed Colonel Moon,
Uh-huh.
and it's just so funny that whole sequence. But the other thing that's amazing about this movie is the ultimate action movie in a way, because that sequence where he's fighting Moon on the hovercrafts, they're in the chase.
Yeah.
He's got the machine gun. He's blowing up the landmines, trying to get the
Yeah.
other Korean hovercrafts off his tail. Moon is shooting at him. Moon shoots at him with a machine gun, a flamethrower,
Yeah.
and the uranium shells
Yeah.
from the handheld weapon in like a minute. It's
Yeah.
like it's just you see him like go after him with like these three insane weapons,
Yeah.
and you don't even know he's got the flamethrower until the flames are coming out. So
Yeah.
it's like really exciting.
Yeah. And he's whipping out those spin kicks on him too.
Yeah, right. When they're on the same one, they get
Yeah.
into the hand-to-hand fight.
Yeah.
That's really intense as well.
Yeah.
And it's just like how does this movie not get more praise for
Yeah.
just how exciting it was
Mhm.
And as well, I've
beginning?
probably said this a few times, so I didn't mean to interrupt, but any film with a flamethrower, I've literally not seen a film with a flamethrower in that I haven't liked.
Yeah.
So it's another tick to the list.
That's a good tell there
Mhm.
that you're probably gonna like the movie.
Yeah.
I don't think
And
I've
as well,
seen one either.
I'll say quick while I think about it, but I've literally just had a weird like flashback memory.
Mhm.
It was one of the first trailers that I can remember watching over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I think it was like a Apple QuickTime trailer that I downloaded. And I watched it over and over and over again. And that bit where I'm going after him and stuff like that, just like the bit where the helicopter flies round at the start and stuff like that. I was
Yeah.
like, this film looks incredible.
It does. Yeah.
Yep. Right?
Yeah, a lot of like the cinematography and some of the music cues really take me back to like the '80s Bond movies. It's really good. I like how David Arnold can sound so much like John Barry, but also kind of make it sound modern. Like sometimes in this movie, it sounds like Star Wars or something. Yeah,
hmm
yeah,
Oh, it's got that energy,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It feels like a very soundtrack from the 80s,
yeah,
like you
yeah,
said. And
yeah,
What I love about David Arnold though as well, because I know him from James Bond, but
yeah,
then I'm always surprised when like Godzilla '98 he did the music for that. He
yeah,
did the music for the 2000 Shaft film. It's just like,
yeah,
yeah,
wow.
what a great composer he is. Like,
yeah,
Yeah. So
mhm,
the music was great
yeah.
too. I love that concept of him, it's I guess it's not considered as dark as Casino because we just don't see the torture as much,
Yeah,
but it's all throughout the intro song.
yeah,
Like you see so much of that happening, and I guess the song is just kind of takes you distracts you enough from it to where it's not as intense as like watching Craig get tortured in Casino.
yeah. I know. I guess.
and
Yeah. Go ahead, Dave.
I don't know how much influence Madonna had over this sequence, but like, if they asked her, credit where it's due, that like, can we use your song and have a torture sequence under it? And she was like, yeah, sure, do whatever you want.
Yeah. Um, and then, and I guess Pierce kind of was happy with he was pleased he would be able to do that type of acting, like the torture scene. So during the commentary, he was saying, "Oh, I wish they would have left the torture scene in the movie because I worked so hard on it and it was so good." But he said like it worked. It was cool how it was playing, progressing through the movie. Like Lee Tamahori was saying, this is like the first one where the beginning opening sequence isn't just its own thing, it's part of the movie. It leads into the song, and the song is part of the movie too. He's getting tortured during the credits, so like the movie is still progressing, and then it just goes, the movie continues from there. So I never really thought about that, but that is kind of unique how like we never seen that happen during during the title sequence. Like the movie is still going on.
Yep. And the thing that was cool about the torture to me was of course it's like a North Korean supermodel that's
Yeah,
torturing him, right? Like
yeah, yeah. Lee
that's what
Tamahori,
makes it like
yeah.
more fun.
In the commentary, Lee Tamahori was saying, "Yeah, I know. I wanted it to be dark and to torture, but I also wanted it to be sort of sexy and Bondish. So I wanted to get this hot lady there. Like she doesn't really have a part in the movie, but she's like the one torturing Bond. So." Even if even during this part, there's still a sexy lady there. But and he said his son was on set and he wanted to meet Scorpion Woman and he didn't care about meeting Pierce Brosnan. He wanted to meet Scorpion Woman.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Scorpion Woman is a
Yeah.
great name for a.
Yeah.
Imagine though, I've just been in a James Bond movie. Who are you? I was Scorpion Woman. That's just perfect.
She doesn't
Yeah.
have any lines.
No, she
She has
doesn't.
no lines,
Nope.
but we all know exactly who she is.
Yeah.
And I'll just say quick while I think about it, but this was almost like my personal mission in life. But when the Bond movies were all released on VHS,
Mhm.
I don't know if it was anywhere else apart from the UK, but all the Bond films were released up to that point, and they all had matching covers. And if you had the spines all lined up, it made a picture of all the James
Yeah.
Bonds. But Die Another Day didn't match unless you took the cover out and flipped it over. At any time, if I go in like a thrift store or charity
Oh.
shop and I see Die Another Day with the cover not the right way around, I change it so
Ah,
it
right
matches
on.
with the the rest of the thing. I've literally just thought about that. That's it.
Yeah.
But
Just
you're
a little
doing
aside.
God's work, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Dave, that reminds me at Rasputin's. There's the VHS section. It's like 2 rows just packed full of VHS. And every week I go in there, I grab all the Bond movies I can find and put them in one location.
Oh,
but
top
but
work.
but
Excellent
but
stuff.
as I've been doing it ever since I go in there. But I noticed, I don't know what it is, but maybe since that Bond game came out, hopefully since First Light came out, maybe people are wanting to buy Bond stuff because I noticed they're gone mostly. There's just like a few more Doctor No's and that's it. So,
Ooh,
yeah,
excellent.
yeah,
Well, I know that's the great thing about James Bond,
yeah,
though.
yeah,
And again, I know I'm such a preacher to the converted, but the
yeah,
great thing about Bond is when you do get a new film or a new
yeah,
video game, it does unlock all this stuff that you've got
yeah,
to suddenly
yeah,
60, 70 years worth of
yeah,
movies and books just go at. It's
yeah,
great.
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Wow,
but
what an opening, right?
yeah, yeah.
Like
Let's
what
talk about
a
this song. I don't know. When I
yeah.
first heard this song, I wasn't big on it. I mean, it's a catchy tune, like it's something like you would hear like at a dance club or something. I never thought it was overly Bond, like the type of Bond songs I like. Usually like the John Barry or the Chris Cornell one after that. I like the stuff with the nice, beautiful chord progressions and sort of
Yeah.
like rock mixed with jazz and orchestration, but this one was a lot different. And I mean, it's a nice, catchy tune. It's very catchy when you hear it. You want to bob your head. But
hmm
but I remember it wasn't really my favorite at the time. What did you guys think about it?
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah,
At the time I thought it was so cool that it was the electronic music,
yeah,
more electronic music in a Bond song than I'd heard in a really long time.
yeah,
And this is one of the reasons why OHMSS is my favorite is
mhm,
because of the synthesizer.
yeah,
And it's so different from all the Connery
yeah,
songs, right? It's like it feels so modern.
yeah,
For even now, like
yeah,
hearing it, it's just like, wow, that must have been like space age level
yeah,
in 1969, so different. And that's kind of what this song is like in that same way. It's like, it's wow, this is after you just had Garbage do a very traditional
yeah,
rock orchestra Bond song, kind of like Live and Let Die,
yeah,
right? This is so different
mhm,
as a tone shift, and I'm glad they did that too because I think it would have been kind of weird if they had just tried to do the same thing again right after The
yeah.
World Is Not Enough.
Yeah, and now I'm thinking, especially, I don't know why it sort of fits with that sequence too. What about you, Dave? What do you think of the song?
Well, I've always been a big fan of Madonna's music anyway,
Yeah,
so to me, it was just almost like, oh, I just thought, oh, it's a cool Madonna song, but especially just going off what you guys have just said, it's so different. I'm
yeah,
surprised, they actually picked Madonna away because it's so different, but I really enjoyed it at the time, and something so specific to basically this time period is when a new Bond film would come out, and you could go into a record store and just buy the CD with the song on.
yeah,
And I miss
Yeah.
so much being able to do that. Like
yeah,
literally, it's so difficult now. Like luckily, I live just close to two pretty good record stores, but
hmm
the Bond songs don't come out on like a CD single anymore or 7-inch single. It's just like, oh, what a
hmm
great time period it was where, yeah, I could just go to the record store and buy, yeah, it's the new Madonna Bond song, excellent. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. But I've got a pretty broad spectrum with the Bond themes. I like most of them, and I'm actually really surprised when, I know everybody's got their own personal taste, but I'm really surprised when a good half of the James Bond songs, I think people don't like, where they're like, oh, I don't like the Sam Smith song, I don't like the Lanny Hall song, I don't like the Rita Coolidge song, and it's just like, well, that's a shame because I like all of those ones.
Yeah, we talked about that in our Bond music episode with Omega, like how we could have had different lists than what we had, and like very easily, because I mean, I think we all pretty much appreciate all of the songs. You know, like there's not a single like main title theme where I'm like, oh, I just hate that song so much. You know, I certainly have my favorites like everybody else, but yeah, I think that's the other thing where it's like if you're a big music fan and you like a lot of different styles of music like we do, you're gonna appreciate the Bond series that much more because of how much variety there is in the music.
Yeah.
And the not just the title themes but the scores as well.
Oh, you're 100% right, and I do feel like they've almost like backed themselves into a corner, because I feel like they've used loads of different kinds of artists and loads of different kind of genres, but at the same time, it's not like they can have like a thrash metal song on there, or they can't like have some weird like gangster rap song or something.
Right.
So, but at least they push it a little bit, and they will say, like, say they'll have something like this Madonna song, or the Jack White song and things like that.
Yeah.
So at least they do try. So yeah, I mean
Jack White with Alicia Keys was very unique, right?
Oh, yeah.
For like the only duet in the whole series.
Yeah.
Oh, I never thought of that. That's a good point. Yeah, good call.
You know, and it's yeah. So I mean, I actually really appreciate that one. I know Omega hates that song. He's gonna roll his eyes. Listen to this.
It's probably
But,
probably my least favorite, but I'm getting to where I appreciate it.
Right.
How far ahead of the game were the Bond producers though, where to have like a tie-in song that you could release and it would get on the charts and you could sell in like record shops? That's such a modern concept for a movie. That you'd think that's what all the Marvel films would do, and maybe even like a Star Wars movie. But these guys were doing this like in the '60s. It's like who thinks that far ahead?
Yeah, it's really really great for the franchise, and it's something that it's like it made it a cultural phenomenon right from the beginning. Really, I mean, as soon as Goldfinger came out, Goldfinger really like solidified that, right? As the doing the you got the orchestrated sort of for the time pop song, right? And then it just kind of snowballed from there, of course.
Yeah, they got Tom Jones in the next one. They're probably the biggest artist, and then just stayed. Nancy Sinatra just stayed big.
And then within a decade, you've got Paul McCartney and the Wings doing "Live and Let Die." Like you got your first real rock song, for it, and then that became a tradition, as well. So it's just really interesting to see how it's evolved.
Yeah.
It's still one of my favorite Bond stories. I don't know if it's like apocryphal, it really happened, but apparently, and you probably already know this story anyway, but when George Martin did the Live and Let Die song with Paul McCartney, and he did like the full version with all the orchestra on and everything, and when they played it to the producers, they were like, oh, this is good for a demo, but when you're going to do the proper thing, they're like, this is the proper thing.
This is what the kids want, Mr. Broccoli. Like, this is... All the kids have taken their earmuffs off, and this is what they're listening to. All those ticket sales.
And I know I've said the story again. I know we should die another day, but I really love that story about Aha, where because I love the Living Daylight song, but apparently, like when John Barry had to like get a full orchestra back to do one note different because Aha wouldn't change their arrangement, and it's just like I love Aha, but I bet John Barry was ready just to beat him to death.
Probably.
Do you know what part was it that he wanted to change? Do you know?
I'm not 100% sure. I think it was like a part in the middle as well, where so they couldn't work around it necessarily. So they had to be like oh my God, we've got to just completely change all this arrangement just to. And as well, that's one thing about the Bond themes, though, that is
Yeah.
really, really cool. The
Yeah.
way that, and this unlocked movie scores to me,
Yeah.
where the
Yeah.
Bond themes, where you'll get the title song, but something like a John Barry or David Arnold will take that melody and work it throughout the
Oh, I love
entire
that. Oh,
score.
I love that.
And
Yeah.
it's so clever. It's
Yeah.
so, so good. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt them.
Yeah. You're good. And I didn't he have the same little didn't he go on that same little feud with Duran Duran about like one little chord in there? They in a View
I
to a
think that
Kill.
might be the case. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
possible.
I think I
That's so
can't tell the
funny.
difference. Like I can't hear it. It might be like a slightly different chord in one section from the Duran Duran album to the John Barry one in the movie. I don't know. Anyway, but the yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm starting to even. The more I watch this movie, the more I appreciate it and I like it, and I think it goes the same with the song. Like, because I didn't care too much for it, but now every time I hear it, I want to start snapping my fingers and bobbing my head. Um, and I think isn't there another little version of it inside the like the Ice Club? Yes,
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
another.
yeah,
Yeah, they edited it a little bit, I think,
yeah,
for that. But
and
it's so cool. It's so subtle, and
yeah,
it's like that's like such a Hollywood moment because you got
yeah.
Brosnan arriving at the Ice Palace
Yes.
in Iceland, with
Yeah.
all of the crazy smoke coming off or
Yeah, just
whatever,
like a
like smoke
typical
machines.
typical Bond layer, typical luxurious Bond location, or typical
And then you use like
villain
the
layer. Yeah,
stop motion. They use
yeah,
like the stop, like they
yeah,
pause the
dude.
camera
And
or
and I
whatever, like at
guess
certain moments.
and I guess that
Yeah.
the dome, the biodome, and the ice palace were not even there in that shot. They digitally put that in when he's driving there. That's pretty amazing, huh?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, that was digital,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
So, but yeah, that scene where he comes in and then you
yeah.
got Halle Berry there
Yes,
too, turning around and it just feels like such a Hollywood moment to me,
yeah, it
like the way
does.
they
Yeah,
filmed that scene with the music from the
yeah,
movie, the
yeah.
theme song really driving
Oh,
it
it's so
in
good.
the
Yeah.
background,
Yeah, that was
like
and yeah, and that was on the Pinewood 007 set stage, right? That whole set, wasn't it?
probably,
Yeah.
I
I
would
think
think
so.
so.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was it. They had a lot of that movie I did not realize was I thought it was real places when I watched the movie, but it's actually sets from Pinewood, like little simple thing,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
the fencing location where they're fencing that's all on
Really?
Pinewood. Or I think when they go outside and fight,
Wow.
it's a real chateau. But inside there,
Okay.
when they're where Miranda is practicing, that's all a stage that, and a bunch of other
You know,
ones too, like the subway, the MI6 station's all a stage. Like it's
yeah.
really nice sets in this movie.
Yeah, really well done.
Yeah,
And the club set, it kind of
yeah,
makes sense because they absolutely destroy it, right?
yeah,
So in filming.
yeah,
So it was probably cheaper to build all of that and destroy it
yeah,
on at the studio rather than pay a real club
yeah,
to let you do that there.
yeah,
Well, when we're talking about the Bond songs, though, being like released in like record shops and things like that,
yeah,
I think that's the great thing about a James Bond movie is you know you're going to get these great locations, these great sets, these great
yeah,
costumes, these great car chases. That I feel like they're no matter what the story is, no matter who the actor is playing James Bond, even up until the Daniel Craig ones, I think the scope is so grand. There, I feel like you almost can't not be excited, but it's just like where they're
yeah,
going to be filming, what cool
yes.
locations are they going to be? Who's the sexy woman who's going to be in it? Oh, look, this
Yeah,
is a cool car. It's just like
yeah,
who doesn't want to watch this? Like,
Yeah,
yes,
if you like cars too, like I mean, there's always exotic cars, and
yeah,
there's always if you like, if you're just into weapons and stuff like that, and like modern
yeah,
the history of weapons and modern weapons too. It's like there's there's a lot of them in the movies
yeah,
of that are interesting.
yeah,
oh yeah, yeah, totally.
and then
Um, yeah.
yeah, and we get exotic locations in the a lot of that stuff in we'll talk about the locations in the sets a little more. Like a lot of it's filmed on Pinewood, like all that Korean stuff was like even in the back lot. I guess they filmed a lot of James Bond movies out in that same location, so maybe that's what kind of tugs at my heartstrings. Maybe subconsciously subconsciously it tugs at my heartstrings that I recognize these locations from other Bond movies. Because usually, I guess the one right there where in Korea outside was just like the same spot where From Russia with Love opening was. Like they've used
Well,
so many Bond movies.
Well, I think the hovercraft chase was
Yeah,
filmed at a place called the Eden Project in Cornwall.
yeah,
And when I think of Cornwall, because I've never really been there, but when one of my friends went to university there, when I think of Cornwall, I always think of like these like nice countryside and
yeah,
all these like really lush green valleys and things like that, and just think, oh, they filmed like a hovercraft chase with explosions there. It's kind of
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's such a Bond thing to do.
yeah. And then we got Cuba, and I know he'd been there briefly, and wasn't he there briefly in GoldenEye? But we get to see more of it. But it's actually a city in Spain where they made it all up look like the 50s. It gives a really good Cuban feel. It really feels like in
Yeah.
Cuba. That cigar factory when he goes to meet Raul. That's all a Pinewood
Mhm.
sets too, but that's a cool aesthetic they got for Cuba in this movie. And of course,
Yeah.
we got Iceland, the big ice palace, and then a lot of in London in this movie. You guys
Yeah.
like the sets and the locations in this?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I love that they went back to Cuba
yeah,
because of GoldenEye and
yeah,
because of just Fleming, right?
yeah,
His history with the Caribbean
yeah,
and writing the books in Jamaica, right?
yeah,
Well, talk about
So,
Cuba as well, though. Can you believe it's the last time Bond smokes in a film when he's smoking a
yes,
cigar? It's like,
yeah,
you would have
mhm,
thought that'd have been like the last time.
yeah.
There, simple as
yeah.
that gone.
I was so
And
glad.
interesting that
Yeah,
it's a cigar,
yeah,
right? Like, I guess that makes sense because it's Cuba, but
yeah,
even that kind of, when I see it, it reminds me of Roger Moore in Live and Let
yeah. I
Die.
love it. Yeah,
And in the Caribbean, right? Smoking a
yeah,
cigar.
yeah. He was right, and yeah,
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
it warmed my heart. I'm not a smoker or anything, but it just warmed my heart because that's what Bond smoked. It was Pierce kind of bothered me how he didn't like smoking. Of course, that's a good thing not to smoke, but I mean Bond smoked. But
Hmm.
but but it was I was so happy to see Pierce smoking a cigar in that. He looked so cool. Yeah,
Well, I think,
yeah.
Oh, he
well, I think with
smokes a
smoking
cigar and
though,
he
it's one of
drinks the mojito
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah,
tobacco in
mojito.
it,
Yeah.
right?
Oh my gosh. He's an ornithologist with the book by James Bond. I guess that's where Fleming got the name from. And he's
Yeah.
looking at binoculars. Oh, this movie is so good. You're looking at binoculars at Halle Berry coming out of the water. It's supposed to be in warm Cuba, but it's cold there in Spain where they're filming. But she comes out with a little bikini, sort of like Ursula Andress's, and just like
Yep.
her hips shaking, walking up to the bar. Yeah.
Best character intro in a movie
Yeah,
ever.
yeah,
well, it must be up there for sure.
yeah. And then, yeah, and then I guess another first, like the love making in this. Usually, we don't see the love making in Bond movies. It just sort of cuts to afterwards, and he's smoking or they're laying together, or it just skips to the next scene. This one has a pretty passionate love making scene with climaxes and everything. and, and
Hmm.
and I guess that was a point of contention too because that had never happened in a Bond movie, but I don't know. It just feels like I think how Lee Tamahori put it on the commentary. Bond kind of deserved to that after being tortured in a prison
Yep.
for 14 months or whatever, and he didn't get with Peaceful Fountains of Desire, and now this Halle Berry is there. Like I think Bond deserves it after.
Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Oh no, but it is funny to think though that
yeah,
like because in the Bond movies you just think, oh,
yeah,
he's obviously had sex with this woman, but to
yeah,
actually sort of quote unquote see it, he says like, yeah, you don't normally see that in a Bond movie.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so that would probably be in it. That's the part. Like, I didn't get to hear Hallie's commentary because the kids were here. So usually there aren't really parts in Bond movies. I have to like skip it. But my kids were here, so I had to skip that part. Yeah,
Well, that's one thing that I
yeah,
feel like they're
yeah,
getting older. That like, and I haven't got like children or anything like that. But
yeah,
any times that I've had to like look after my niece and nephew, there'll
yeah,
be
yeah,
sometimes when I will put something like Die Another Day, and I'm like, oh
yeah,
my god, I didn't realize there was
yeah,
this scene in it. It's like, oh
yeah,
no.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But I mean the.
Well,
Oh yeah, go
at
ahead.
least you weren't watching Pulp Fiction, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That could it could go south pretty quick.
Yeah.
One of the worst decisions I ever made once was when I was looking after my niece, and she was like about
Yeah.
14 or something. She wasn't like really, really young, but I thought I'll show her Clockwork Orange because it's one of my favorite films. And it went on for 5 minutes, and I was like, "This was a terrible mistake," and I had to turn
Oh
it off because
no.
I was like, I can't show this. It was just like it seemed like the worst film I could have ever shown somebody.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I made a mistake the other day. I guess I didn't realize how graphic. Like all movies from the early '90s were like that. But I told my mom was over. Oh, this movie Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man with Mickey Rourke and Don Johnson. It's so cool. It's like an action buddy movie. Like my mom's like big movie fan like I am. Like she likes a lot of different movies. And then like oh crap, like Mickey Rourke's pounding a girl that naked in the bed at the beginning. Like oh man, I forgot about
Oh,
that. Yeah, I forgot about. She's like oh I'm not watching this movie. Why do they have to put all that in all these movies? Like I forgot. Sorry.
All that smut, all
'Cause-
those the Hollywood
yeah,
smut.
I guess it was one my dad and I liked. So we got my dad and I. He showed that to me when I was very young. That movie. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but isn't that funny though? No matter
yeah,
how old you get,
yeah,
that like watching an embarrassing scene with your parents is
yeah.
still always embarrassing.
Yeah.
Well, I've probably said this a million times as
Yeah,
well. I can't get over when I was 12 years old.
yeah,
My sister's boyfriend lent me RoboCop,
yeah.
and it literally
Oh,
changed my life.
yeah.
I was like, yes, I want to watch this nice film about a robot policeman. Oh, it's warped my brain.
So Dave, you realize how awesome that is, right? Because
Yeah.
you just said earlier today that some of your sisters, their husbands and boyfriends or whatever, they don't appreciate your kind of lifestyle and views on things.
Yeah,
And now all you have to do is tell them,
yeah,
well, look, the only reason I'm this way is because the guy who was here before you got me into RoboCop.
yeah,
That's a good point, actually. I mean, it is one of those things though, where
yeah,
when I look back at things like that, where I do feel like sometimes, I think if you're going to be a film fan or music fan, no
yeah,
matter what, you probably might end up like that. But there is times
yeah.
when I'm like, no wonder I've ended up like that because like my dad was a huge drinker, so
Mhm.
I've got the drinking from my dad, and then like all these people would like let me watch films that I had there's no way I should have been watching these movies at the age I
Yeah.
was. And even one of my sisters, I tease her about it all the time, but I won't have it any other way. But my sister used to take me to the video shop and say, rent whatever you want. And she would let me rent like Exterminator, Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
Piranha, all the most violent films you've ever seen when I was like 9 years old or 10 years old. It's
Yes.
just like, so it's like,
Holy,
that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it.
holy cow,
Yeah.
Dave! When I was a little kid, 6, my best buddy and I, his sister she was a cool big sister. She's probably 16 or so, and her boyfriend and her took us to same thing. Let's rent any movie at the video store. And we rented Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. That was like the most terrifying day of my childhood. I
Yeah.
don't think we got through it. We had to stop it. I think even they were getting scared. The sister and her
To
boyfriend.
be fair, though,
Yeah,
that film
yeah,
is an experience as an
yeah,
ad. Like I've seen that film a few times,
yeah,
and that's a hell of a thing to watch. If
yeah,
you watch that like really young,
yeah,
no wonder.
Guys, that movie's a comedy.
yeah.
What are you talking about? It's a good thing you didn't see the first one, Tyler. That
Yeah,
would have messed you up.
yeah, yeah. No, I
At
didn't see
6.
that
Oh
one
my
until
God.
I didn't see the first one until I was about 19, and that really affected me. I just laid there looking up at the fan going around for like a
Yeah.
half hour after I saw that.
Well,
Yeah,
one
Yeah,
no,
thing about well,
yeah,
one thing about
Texas is
Toby.
yeah,
yeah,
that's an experience.
yeah,
Sorry, Dave. What were you gonna say?
yeah.
Well, one thing about Toby Hooper though that really, and I like Toby Hooper anyway, but when he said about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, he made it a comedy because people didn't get the jokes in the first film. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you're dealing with a crazy director when it's like he was disappointed that people didn't find Texas Chainsaw
Oh
Massacre
my
1
gosh,
funny.
yeah,
So it's like he made the joke so over
yeah,
the top in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 that
yeah,
people had to notice that.
Oh,
yeah,
no, that's a. I watched it for the first time like probably during COVID, something
Yeah.
like that, because I wanted something that was totally different from what I usually watched.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, Tylord, after that, it's like you're just sort of lying there, sort of like stunned by
Yeah.
the whole experience. Like it takes a while to process,
Yeah.
and then you're just like, wow. And then like the more time passed, the more I was like, that was a brilliant
Yeah.
movie.
No kidding. Yeah.
You know,
100%. Yeah.
yeah, like it's just so amazing.
Yeah.
You start to dive into like the psychology of it and everything,
Yeah.
how it's structured. Yeah, we got to do our Toby
No,
Hooper
we got to.
appreciation
Yeah.
hour
Oh yeah.
here. Yeah,
Yeah, we do. It'll turn into 3 hours, but we got to do it.
yep,
Oh, easily, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
definitely.
I'm so down for that though. It's not even
Uh,
funny.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. I don't know how to transition into that. I guess there was, I guess there was the cute couple of cute little females in that movie. But I want to talk about the females in Die Another Day, the Bond girls.
Yep.
I mean, Bond ends up with two of them, which is nice. But I mean, we have of course we had Scorpion Lady that didn't really do anything, and then we had Peaceful Fountains of Desire, who was the sent in there by the what is he Chinese special service or Chinese
Yeah.
intelligence to have
Right.
compromising videos of him, but he ends up working with the Chinese or sorry Korean no he's in Hong Kong, yeah, so it was China. Yeah, that was a cool scene too. Kind of getting off the subject. Bond, he looks like a caveman after he's been incarcerated for a year and a half, and then he fakes his own death, escapes from MI6's medical staff. After the girl tries to give him CPR, and he beats up the male nurses, and then he kind of, oh, thank you for the kiss of life. He walks by the nurse, and she's like getting all steamy looking at him. But then he gets back to the shore. He finds that Hong Kong yacht club, and he goes to. I guess he's been there before. He like this. How freaking cool Pierce Brosnan, and he's walking in looking like a caveman, like all wet.
Soaking wet.
Yeah, and he's just strutting in there like he owns the place, like he's wearing a three-piece suit or a
and as
tuxedo.
well, I'm
Yeah,
not to say how
yeah,
good this film is.
yeah,
Can you
yeah,
believe three words that have been used during this commentary?
yeah.
Flamethrower, chateau, and caveman.
Yeah.
Best film you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
How many times can you say the word flamethrower and caveman in the same
Yes.
in the same commentary?
And then, yeah, but I mean, there's the girl there who's very pretty, but I don't. That's just sort of progressing the plot and then the Chinese guy ends up getting him into Cuba to trace his lead. I don't really want to get too much into the plot. I do like it because it's like a mixture of Diamonds Are Forever and the Moonraker novel. So I do like the plot of this movie. But then, of course, Jinx, we meet, of course, Halle Berry, the main Bond girl. We meet her early on. She's mysterious. Usually, the mysterious girls like this are like they're end up being Russian or Chinese intelligence. This girl is actually NSA, so she's an American girl, and I love my American Bond girls. Dr. Goodhead. I like Stacy Sutton. I even don't mind Denise Richards. Freaking Carrie Lowell, Pam. I know a lot of people don't like. I don't know if you guys over there. I hear a lot of you guys don't care for those movies, so I think that's why they don't like the Bond girls. But I really like the American Bond girls. But we got Halle Berry, and then of course Miranda Frost, who turns out to be a baddie. She's really good in this. I think this is her big breakout role, and she's become a big star. What's her name? Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this I think was her big breakout role. She was in the commentary a bit, and she seems like a really lovely, humble lady. Um,
Hmm.
but I mean, I like her role in this. She's a, sort of a double agent. Good, you think she's bad, but then you think she's good, but then she's bad. But what I like about her, she plays the villain very well. Although, like,
Yeah.
if you look at her, she looks very innocent. Something about her looks. You wouldn't expect her to be someone like Fiona Volpe or Fatima
Hmm.
Blush or Zinnia Onatopp. She has such like
Not at
a
all.
elegant, like kind of innocent, beautiful look. but then she ends up
Yeah.
playing the villain very well, like very over the top. She almost seems like a Mortal Kombat character or something later
Yeah,
on.
that last fight on the plane with Halle Berry, yeah,
Yeah.
it was like Mortal Kombat with all the blades and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
But,
right.
yeah.
And it's so
I'll just
cool
say
that she
quick as
can
well
do
though.
that.
Yeah.
When you said, oh sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but when you
Yeah.
said
No, go ahead.
about it reminds you of Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah.
Was it because this was the 40th anniversary when this was released?
Yeah.
And wasn't there a direct reference to every single
Yeah.
previous film
Yeah.
somewhere in this movie?
Yeah. There
Yeah,
was.
And
Yeah.
I've never, I don't think I ever spotted them until I read the full list. I was like, oh yeah, that's all the references. But yeah,
Yeah.
I just thought I'd say just while I thought about it.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. I loved all the reference in this movie. That's too. Even Q's lab had a lot of them in there alone during the Q scene.
Yeah. The Thunderball
Oh, the
rocket
Thunderball.
pack,
Yeah.
jetpack is in there.
Yeah, and he even
That
used
was really cool.
the Thunderball breathing apparatus. He actually used as a gadget, and he used
Yeah.
his laser watch to cut it from GoldenEye. And also, don't forget, Never Say Never Again, the first one to use a laser strap. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
I love that watch from Never Say Never
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Well, I love the laser watch though. Is
Yeah.
in the From Russia with Love video game, which I'm
Yes.
sure was a reference. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, he's got the same watch.
Yeah. Dude, we got to do a playthrough of From Russia with Love, Wubs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was
Yeah.
thinking we could do that now
Yeah.
since we did our first light
I
playthrough.
mean, you might not be you would think that First Light's leagues and leagues ahead of it, but I'm thinking you might be impressed how much like First Light from Russia with Love is.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
Yeah,
sure like,
yeah,
so many of the things that
yeah,
we were talking about it during the stream, right?
yeah,
These modern games, it's not that
yeah.
they're doing things that are new so much these days, but they're just doing refinements
Yes,
and making things look pretty, but
yeah,
wow, did it look good.
yeah, exponentially.
It's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Well, I still to this day though with the From Russia with Love video game, the thing that
yeah,
I think doesn't get nowhere near enough attention is when Sean Connery very first left James Bond and they got him back to do they're going back to do Diamonds Are Forever.
yeah,
Thought that
hmm
was kind of impressive. When he
It's
left
so cool.
again and they got him back to do Never Say Never Again, that was kind of impressive. I still
hmm
to this day,
yes,
even though all these years have passed, how they got Sean Connery to do the voice for a video game. I still don't know how much money they gave him.
yeah. What
Did they
the?
kidnap his
hmm
Yeah,
family? Did they bribe him?
Right?
Like, because I just
yeah,
can't believe Sean Connery getting a phone call. Do you want to do a voice for a video game? And he was like, okay. Like,
yeah.
what? Like, he said yes? Like, I never ever thought Sean Connery would come back
Why
at all.
that just blows my mind too. You think it'd be like, well, I passed up on Gandalf, so I didn't want to pass up on another opportunity like that. I don't want to pass up on all this nerdy shit. Yeah,
Wow.
Good point.
yeah, yeah. Oh, but what do you guys think about the ladies in this? Is this a good one for the?
Ooh.
I know this is Wub's favorite. What do you guys think about the Bond girls in this?
Yeah, Dave, you go first.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think with the Bond films, I mean, the
Yeah,
women are nearly always, a certain standard. I mean, they've got they can pick almost anybody, can't they? But I feel
Well, they
like
got
with the
yeah,
Judi
Bond,
Dench as them. I mean, the standards are high.
yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
no, but I think with the Bond women though, and I know like my taste is all over the place. Like when I said,
yeah,
a few times already that like, the Money Penny from Never Say Never Again and different
yeah,
things like that. But at the same time, I think with the Bond women though, if they're the ones you find really, really attractive, there's almost something magical about them because they're obviously all attractive. And I know it's the
yeah,
Yeah,
worst possible, most shallow thing you can judge somebody on about how
yeah,
attractive they are. But
yeah,
I
sure.
think with the Bond women, they're attractive, but they can act. They've got a cool
yeah,
voice. They've got a certain personality, and I think that must be so difficult to find.
yeah,
And I don't know if where I've got this quote from, and if it's one of the producers or I've heard somebody else imply it somewhere else, but you can have the most attractive woman you've ever seen. If she's got a terrible voice or she
hmm
can't act, she all of a sudden isn't as attractive anymore. But the
yeah,
Bond women, there's always something about them. Obviously, everyone's got their own personal favourites for one reason or another, but there's something about the Bond women that are like almost like
yeah,
it's like an extra little like special like magic dust over him or something that like you think,
Yeah.
how did they find this woman that is so cool and so, like so badass and can kick ass? Like no wonder there's such a select group of these women that like they can just pick one or two for a film and you think, yeah, these are amazing.
Yeah.
And who even like want to do it too, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a certain stigma that comes with the franchise probably, and I've seen them talk about that. Some of the former Bond girls would talk about how it would affect their careers,
Yeah.
or would potentially impact them, not necessarily in positive ways.
Yeah.
But I think that's really a case by case basis, because you could say that, wasn't Live and Let Die one of Jane Seymour's first films,
Yeah.
if not her first. I mean,
Yeah.
it was really early in her career,
Yeah.
and I don't think it hurt her career at all.
No. Yeah. Both.
Well, I think.
Yeah.
Well, was it one of you guys on one of the previous commentaries we've done where I'm pretty sure it was one of you guys that really made me pick up on this, but in nearly every making of a James Bond film, when they talk to the Bond girls, they'll say, "Oh, we're not like the previous Bond films. We were a strong Bond woman in this." And then the next one, "Yeah, we're a strong Bond woman in this." Oh, and they've been saying it for like 30
40
years.
Yeah.
I got a feeling that Ursula Andress felt like a pretty strong woman coming out of that beach in that bikini.
Yeah.
And as well, though, saying about like judging people I know they look as really shallow. That said, my friend yesterday showed me a picture of Jane Seymour taken like yesterday, and she is still smoking hot.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Stunning.
how can a woman I'm 52 years old this year. How can a woman who was in a James Bond film that was made before I was born still look really good?
Yeah.
It's like she's
Yeah.
like 200 years old or something. I don't even know what. But again, it's shallow when I say it out loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not shallow when you think it, Dave. Don't worry. It's just when you speak
at least
it.
this is not. At least it's not being recorded or anything.
Yeah, right. I'll let her hear this, so, yeah, don't worry about it.
Go on the internet or anything.
Oh wow, I don't know how to follow that, Tylord. Sorry.
I know you will.
What so I guess what you're saying, Dave, is you enjoy the movies, huh?
Yeah. What I always think is really funny though as well, because I feel like I'm not the most macho of guys, and I feel like I get teased all the time for not being like a proper oh yeah, I love women, me, typical blokey bloke kind of thing. But no wonder people who are really, really macho guys. No wonder people like James Bond movies. I mean, like I was saying, it's probably said about 10 times already, but how can anybody not like this formula? I feel like even if you are sort of, really kind of laid back and hey, can't we just all go along and stuff like that? The Bond formula is so appealing that who doesn't want? I think even if a woman, who doesn't want be going to all these posh restaurants and wearing all the best clothes, and especially if you're a bloke, who doesn't want be drunk all the time with hot women driving a cool car? Who doesn't
using a flamethrower on a hovercraft,
looking like a caveman? I mean, who doesn't want this lifestyle for themselves? I mean, it's just so appealing.
Yeah, it's definitely the fantasy of it is very exciting. Always has been. Yeah. So I think but coming back to this film, the women in this are amazing, of course, and Halle Berry's still probably my favorite, I'd say. I don't think that's changed, at least with what we've done so far with this review series. And it was great to see it in Blu-ray upscaled on the 4K, 65-inch TV again, right?
Heck yeah.
So it was great.
Especially that Cuba scene, huh?
Yeah, the Cuba scene is so perfect. It's such a cool throwback to Dr. No, and how they did it. It's filmed so well, such a good character introduction.
Yeah.
Well, I think Halle Berry as well, though, was one of them women, though, as well. I feel like if you said to most heterosexual men, do you prefer women with long hair or short hair? I think most men would say long hair. But
Yep.
Halle Berry is like, he's a short-haired woman
Yeah.
who is
Mhm.
smoking hot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wubs brought that up before. That's exactly.
Well, that's the same
Yeah,
thing for
yeah,
me, right? Because
yeah,
Carrie Lowell is my other favorite from the whole
yeah,
series.
Oh, yeah,
Was
yeah.
just, with her short hair as
yeah.
well. And what I had said when we did our Best of Bond reviews, I think, was that I didn't even realize that. I didn't even make that connection until we were doing that series. Like, oh wow, because I'd never really thought about like who my favorite was until we were doing the rankings or whatever, and it came down to those two, and then I suddenly hit me like, oh, they both have short hair. That's so interesting, And then I thought it's because of how feminine they are. Like they are so feminine, but they're both really athletic, and they're both agents too, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
And so I don't know. It's just something about that I just thought was so cool
Mm,
about both of their characters, I guess.
mm,
And they could be these very capable, smart women and also very feminine at the same time.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I just think it's really cool.
Yeah.
And thinking about it as well, it gives like a sense of realism because I'm sure if you were like a secret agent or you knew you had to be in situations where you were doing some crazy stuff, you probably wouldn't want long hair and have to
Right. It's
spend
Mm,
actually
hours
practical,
do.
right? Like
Yeah,
it
it
makes
yeah.
actually makes
sense.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but whereas you got somebody like Tyler's favorite, Dr. Goodhead, right?
Mm,
She's got the really long
yeah.
Mm.
Ooh,
brunette
yeah.
hair that's so pretty, and it works really well for her cover. Like it makes sense, I think.
Mm,
Also considering it was 79, right?
yeah.
Tylord,
Yep.
not
79.
modern day, so that's a little different. Well,
Yeah.
2002 isn't really modern day anymore, is it?
Yeah. Wow.
But
It's
you know
still.
what I mean.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
No, but what is funny you should say that though, because I think a lot of people like roughly our age still think of the '90s being recently when it's like
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
years ago. But
Yeah.
it's
Right.
so funny because I still think of this film as being, yeah, it's quite new,
Yeah. Me
and
Yeah.
too.
it's
Yeah.
not. It's
Yeah.
like
Right.
20 odd years old. It's
Yeah.
like what?
24
I
years
do
old.
too. Like
Wow.
watching films from that period, the late '90s, early 2000s, early mid 2000s, feels so modern to me because of what you were saying, Tyler, about the CGI stuff.
Mhm.
Like CGI was really starting to take off by the late '90s,
Mhm.
and because we'd already had Terminator 2 and Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
and was really big, groundbreaking films for CGI earlier in the decade.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the decade, we're getting the new Star Wars trilogy, The Matrix, and things like that. And these Bond films
Yeah.
too had CGI, and then this one had CGI
Yeah.
shortly thereafter. To me, that all still feels really modern
Yeah.
because it was so different from everything else I'd seen as a kid up to
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, no, that's totally true.
Mhm. And then, another thing about Hallie, something Lee Tamahori mentioned in the commentary was a really deep cut. Like the look of Halle Berry, like her outfit, it's very like spy, like sexy femme fatale spy esque. He said
Yeah.
like the what do you call it? The concept drawings of her, like something about make her look like Modesty Blaze. I don't. That's like a really old '60s movie. Like that. That's
Yeah,
that. I just love that though. That's that
that's
typical.
so cool.
Typical like what you expect like a Bond femme fatale or that old
Yep.
like '60s spoof spy movie or Mrs.
Yeah,
Peel or Miss Peel or whatever.
Mrs. Peel, yeah,
Yeah.
her outfits
Yeah.
did have, very 60s spy vibe
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like she could have been in Austin Powers,
Yeah.
right? With her same wardrobe, really.
Yeah.
And that would have made perfect sense.
Yeah.
But I think
I
that's the
think,
great thing
yeah,
about sometimes with references, though, that you don't have to know the reference to
Yeah.
think, oh, that's cool. But once you do, when somebody says, oh, we want it to look like this, you go, oh, of course.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and you kind of know exactly what you're going for
Yeah.
there. I think this is the other thing, thinking about her character
Mhm.
for me, like why I like her so much. She's like, she's a very likable personality, I think,
Yeah.
and to the same Carrie Lowell in the same way in License to
Yeah.
Kill. They're like very like something about their aura is just it's very yeah, they're spies, they're agents,
Yeah,
whatever, but they're just very kind the
yeah,
way they carry themselves. Like you can tell like they're invested in what they're doing.
yeah, yeah,
And Hallie just carries herself in this movie like she's sort of angelic almost in the way that she functions in this movie.
yeah,
Um, which is very interesting for her as an actress. I don't really think I've seen other movies with her where she was like that. Like Swordfish was done like right before this. She's a completely different character in
yeah,
that, right? Like she's a really suspicious, dark, like you can't really trust her at
yeah,
all. She's constantly lying. Yeah, it's interesting. So I mean, she's an actress with a lot of range,
yeah.
obviously. So
Yeah, I know. I'm sure anybody quite phrase it like that. That's a really good point. But just reminded me as well. How far along did they get in? Because were they going to do like a Jinx spin-off? Did they actually
Oh,
ever write a
I
full
forgot
script, or were
about
they just
that.
like,
Yeah,
boy,
or
I
were they
would
just
watch
like,
that in a
oh,
heartbeat if
maybe?
they
yeah,
actually did it. You know, like that's what Amazon ought to do. Go make a Jinx spinoff.
yeah,
But do it 20 years ago with Halle Berry. Like
yeah,
that's what I
yeah,
really want.
yeah. I forgot all about that. They were really behind this movie, and all of a sudden they just like threw it in the dump. Yeah, the yeah, but other than the girls, I mean, oh, then I forgot Madonna, which was like
Oh yeah.
first she was played a small character, like she was Miranda's fencing instructor, um, in her little black get up, her little like leather
Yeah.
fencing suit, and I don't know, I'm I like Madonna's music. I'm not really a big fan of her. I don't know, Dave. You remember James Bond Radio?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I used to watch them religiously. They're like my favorite podcasts of all time, but they stopped doing it like a few years ago. But I remember they could not stand this movie. Like I usually agreed with like 99% of their takes on every Bond movie, but I think one of the guys, I think Chris even wrote to Eon about how much he hated it. Like, man, you guys are so positive and you love every other Bond movie, but they hated this one, and they never got back. They were reviewing every single movies, and they never got back up to this one. I was hoping they would have a change of heart, but they stopped their show before they got to this one. But man, they
That
really couldn't stand it. They can't stand Madonna. They can't stand the song. They can't stand the CGI. They can't stand Lee Tamahori. Like, well, I don't understand. I would think those guys are not the type of like some of these people are just influenced by everyone or they want to be the cool crowd and not and hate on Diamonds Are
Mm,
Forever and
right.
A View to a Kill and stuff like that. But those guys were not like that. So I was really surprised why they didn't like Die Another Day. But
well, it's funny you should
yeah,
say that though, because
yeah,
I don't think there's nothing worse sometimes though when
yeah,
if there's a YouTuber or a podcaster
yeah,
you
yeah,
like and they completely trash a film that you like, you're
yeah,
like, no, it just seems to really
yeah,
hurt even
yeah,
more. And you've just reminded me though of
yeah,
it something because
yeah.
one of my favorite all-time films is a film called Roller Coaster, an old
Oh
70s
yeah,
disaster
yeah.
movie, and I downloaded a commentary once, like a
Yeah,
quote unquote fan commentary,
yeah.
and all they were doing was slagging it off all the way through, saying it's the worst film ever
Oh
made and it's
no.
horrible.
Yeah,
And I was just like, no, and I was just like, it was so heartbreaking. I was like, no. So yeah, I mean, there's not like, and I feel like
yeah,
as well, like 'cause normally with a Bond movie,
yeah,
most people like something, don't they? Like, oh, they like
Yeah.
a certain action scene, or
yeah,
like they find the women attractive or something. But to just hate the whole thing is like, no.
yeah, yeah.
Dude, I can watch A View to a Kill and say that is a great soundtrack.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
I do not like that movie, but the soundtrack is a banger.
Oh yeah, yeah.
well, it's
Wow. Yeah,
literally, I think objectively as well, it's like some of the best music, and like Winewood Station and things like that, and
yeah,
the music when it's like coming from the ladder with the burning
yeah,
building. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it doesn't,
so
it
good.
doesn't, it doesn't get much better than
yeah.
that.
No, the music for that whole sequence was like perfect.
Yeah, I think the whole movie though, every single cue in that movie, it's like a mixture of like Thunderball, but also like modern at the time, like '80s. It was so good. I love that soundtrack so much.
I
Yeah,
mean the
And
the The fight at the end on the
Oh
Golden
yes,
Gate Bridge, the
yeah,
music for the fight is fantastic.
yeah,
And I feel like I've either mentioned this on every single YouTube video we've done, or I've never mentioned it at all. But if they ever do a John Barry score, an expanded version of it, I want them to do the Black Hole score expanded, because
yeah.
that score is just perfect. And I've
Oh
got the
my God,
vinyl version
yeah.
of it and stuff like that. But I mean, just like
Yeah, not all,
I need to see that again.
not every single cue is on that though, right?
yeah,
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 we
it's
went with it.
really.
Yeah, we went.
It's a really condensed version of it. I think you can buy it on like iTunes and
Uh,
stuff, something like that. But I would just love like a double CD version of
I
it, like
can't.
where it sounded great
I
and
can't
everything.
believe
Yeah.
when I first saw that movie, I wasn't really into it. It's kind of a dull sci-fi. I mean, it's nice looking. It has
Right.
good acting, but I was hearing that John Barry music, like, fuck, this is like I'm watching like a sci-fi James Bond movie. That it's just like just as good as any James Bond movie. The score in there, like, it's so freaking good. I went and downloaded like every single track I could find and listened to when I first.
But
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
John Barry though as well is one of them
yeah,
composers where
yeah.
even like films that didn't do no business, and like everybody like Raise the Titanic,
Yeah.
the score for
Oh
that
my
is
God. Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's just like I would like
Yeah.
he's always one of them composers where when I was growing up, if you'd have said who are my favorite composers, I would say all the usual people like John Williams and
Yeah.
Jerry
Yeah.
Goldsmith and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it's only as I get older and older, John Barry is just almost everything he's ever done is damn near perfect.
Yeah. I don't know if you got that. Did you see that leak I sent you of that movie? It's called Night Game. It's some movie I've never even heard of. I can't even find it anywhere to stream it. I don't know if it's like an erotic horror thriller.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Dude, that soundtrack, I was like, this is fucking amazing. It sounds like it came off of the Moonraker score or something. It probably came out
Was
late.
this the John Barry
Yeah,
soundtrack?
yeah, John Barry, yeah. It was on the same, it came off of the same album as Game of Death with Bruce Lee.
Okay.
Because he did the score for that, which is amazing. That's very Bond-esque too.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
Yeah,
Wow.
anyway. Oh, getting off the subject here.
Yeah.
But I was going to talk about the supporting cast. Like we had Madonna there briefly, and then we
Yep.
get Judi Dench as cool as ever, looking good as ever, according to Dave. But I mean,
Yep.
she's really icy and cold in this one. I really like her in this.
Dave's
Um,
the authority on Judi Dench,
yeah.
so I'm gonna go with
She just
she's
Jesus.
definitely talked about.
she is so intimidating. Like for just a little old lady, like she carries herself so well. Like you can picture, like you can see why she's the boss of MI6. She's just so cold and intimidating. I think Miranda, what's her name, Rosamund Pike in the commentary was talking about that. How like her first scene was with Judi Dench and how intimidated she was. And I was sitting there
Yeah.
watching the movie. Yeah, look at those eyes, like she's so intimidating that little old lady. But and then of course we got John Cleese as officially becoming Q, and I love him as Q. The only time we ever get him as Q is this movie and Everything or Nothing, the video game. And I wish we had him more, but and then of
Plays
course
in World is not enough, too.
yeah, but he was kind of technically R in that, right? Or
Right,
the
right, true.
yeah,
Yeah.
but and then of course was that tall, handsome man, the chief of staff, Colin Salmon that plays Robinson. We have him. He's been in a few of them, and then I like his contact in Cuba, or the guy he meets up with, Raul. He's very like Karen Bay-esque. Like I think
Hmm.
Tamahori said he wanted a character like Karen Bay, and that's why he put him in there.
I
Um,
kind of wish he'd been in it
yeah, me
more,
too.
just
Yeah, yeah, me
to
too.
establish
Yeah,
that, because
me too.
he was a really good actor. He's
Yeah,
a really
yeah,
funny character,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
very cool.
yeah. It was,
They should have done like some kind of uh info gathering scene together with like the two of them
yeah.
in Cuba. That would have been
Or
really
even
cool.
like continue on and maybe even have him die or something to make it
Yeah,
more
or
emotionally.
he helps Bond find the clinic or
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
And then, of course, we have Falco, which is a cool name. I always think of the Star Fox guy, Falco. Michael Madsen plays the head of the director of NSA. He's just playing a
Yeah.
typical Michael Madsen guy. It's cool to see him in a role like that. Like he's always butting heads with him and trying to boss her around, and she's always trying to put him in his place. It's really cool to see him in that. And then I really liked. I thought that actor's really good. I think he doesn't get enough praise. The Colonel Moon, like
Yeah, yeah.
he
He was
plays it
great.
really straight for all the silly stuff going on, and he looks
Mhm.
cool in his uniform, like very distinguished looking, and yeah, and he's also not even that bad of a guy. Like he's actually like kind of for a North Korean, he's like not that bad of a guy. Like he wanted to take his son to go to Western school to grow a bridge between their cultures or whatever,
Yeah.
and he didn't agree with the torturing and the that was happening at his facility. But and then he had a really emotional death. That was a cool scene at the end with Gustav killing his own father.
Mhm.
I thought that was kind of a unique moment for the movie. But
It was actually compassionate, right? Like it was
yeah,
actually like you felt
yeah,
bad
yeah,
for after that. Like it felt like watching a drama in that
yeah,
scene.
yeah. And then
No, but that's where these films, though, really
yeah,
work on all these different levels.
yeah,
Where you do buy the performances, like you say, it's like because this film has obviously got like lots of quote unquote silly moments, but at
yeah,
the same time, the acting sells it.
yeah,
It's
Hmm.
I say about Judi Dench the way
yeah,
she can just turn that like dead serious thing, and that's one
yeah,
thing I've always loved about really good actors.
yeah,
The way it's almost like supernatural, the way they can just suddenly be a different character. Like when you
yeah,
say action, and they're a
yeah,
different person, it's like. I know they've trained in it and it's like
yeah,
they study it like theatre or whatever, but like
yeah,
how can they do that?
yeah. Hey, any other thought on any of the supporting cast? I want to talk about the big baddie in a minute here, but any thoughts on any of the supporting characters or anyone I missed?
I just wanted to say about General Moon,
Yeah,
like again, you mentioned it briefly there. I feel like that actor just brought a lot of class
yeah,
to the movie, you
yeah,
know. I know I've seen him in other films,
hmm,
but like just the way he played that character was really compelling, I think,
yeah,
and added like it made the film a little more respectable, I think, the
yeah.
way
I
he
think
did
so
it.
too. Yeah, and then I get
I agree with
yeah,
that too.
yeah, and then I guess we didn't really talk about him that much, but Colonel Moon slash Gustav Graves, who is the big baddie in this, and we got his sidekick or his main henchman or his his buddy Zhao, and Zhao starts off handsome and he ends up ugly, but both of these guys are undertaking gene. Oh, then there was the doctor too, Dr. Alvarez, that ran the clinic that changes identity of shady people to a different race, like
Hmm.
DNA transplant. So Colonel Moon and Zhao are going to change into white Caucasian European men and to change their identity to hide. While he's
Yep.
going on with his diamond magnet scheme and building his big weapon. Very, I really love both these guys. Like Zhao, he turns up looking like a really ugly character. He has diamonds blown up that are stuck in his face. He's halfway turned into a white man, so he looks like an albino with no hair. Really ugly worm-looking guy with no eyebrows. He went from like the most handsome guy in the world to really ugly, like henchman. And he
He's
has
a diamond-studded golem.
Diamond said Gom, yeah, and he's got his Jaguar with all of the James Bond weapons. It's like twisted metal at the end of this movie.
Yeah, it really
It's
is.
and then but Gustav Graves is such a cool enemy. I know you love his power glove,
Oh yeah,
but
the NES Power
yeah,
Glove to control Icarus is like
yeah,
the best weapon in the whole
yeah,
series. I said that, right?
yeah,
Didn't I say that's the best gadget in the whole
yeah,
series?
he did,
The
yeah,
Power Glove?
yeah. But I mean, he's so. I liked him ever since I first saw the movie. I thought he's very memorable. And what a dumb kid I was. I thought when I first saw him, I thought he was the same actor with makeup on. Like what a dummy.
Oh wow.
I guess because that actor Toby, Toby Stevens, he kind of is a weird looking. Like he's a handsome guy, but I thought maybe like he had a prosthetic on, kind of like Mr. Big and Kananga. like
Well, and he does these crazy
yeah, yeah,
expressions
yeah,
throughout
yeah.
the movie, right? Where you kind of think
Yeah, yeah.
like, yeah, that could be some makeup.
Yeah,
Like that's a little
so
creepy.
I'm sure by the end of the movie I realized it was another actor, but
Right.
because I knew right when I saw him, I go, "That's Colonel Moon." Because I don't know why I thought like because it's not obvious at first when you first meet him,
No, not at
or
all.
yeah, but I mean
I
his
think sometimes though with stuff like that
yeah
though, it sounds really obvious when you say anything.
yeah
Oh, I thought it was the same person. But
yeah
sometimes when you're at that person, well, literally, it only happened like a few hours ago. I
yeah
was watching somebody do a play along of
yeah
Tomb Raider 2,
yeah
and there was a scene where they were in a boat, and it
yeah
reminded me of Last Crusade. And
yeah
I put in the
Hmm.
chat, I said, "Oh, did this copy did Last Crusade copy this game?" And the person was like, "This came out 10 years after that." I was like,
Yep.
"Oh yeah." And
Yep.
I think
yeah
sometimes everybody has their moments where you're just
yeah
like, "Why
yeah
did I think that?" Like
yeah
it's just like it's just
yeah
Well,
yeah
that's how like ahead of its time Last Crusade was,
yeah
right?
yeah it
That's
oh
was
yeah.
yeah.
I wouldn't feel bad about that, Dave.
Yeah, that's a wonderful scene right there.
The
Yeah.
boat scene in Last Crusade is like one of the best I think in the whole
Oh, I
Indiana
think
Jones
so. Yeah,
franchise.
yeah. That whole movie is the best I think in the whole franchise.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
yeah, but uh, but old Gustav, I liked him ever since I saw it, and even the Colonel Moon version of him, I always liked that actor. He's like a martial artist. There's something Lee. The actor that. But anyway, the guy Gustav, and then especially after I went through and read the books, I realized how much in common this is the closest thing to the Moonraker novel, this movie. So I really like Gustav Graves now. After like 5 or 10 years ago, I read Moonraker, and Hugo Drax in that has a secret backstory. He becomes Britain's golden child, and he's working on this big space program, and everyone thinks he's the big hero of England, when really he's going
Mm-hmm.
to destroy something, and he's really
Yep.
really a Nazi or whatever. But this one is very similar to that, but he's really North Korean, and everyone thinks he's England's new golden boy,
Yep.
and he's building this weapon. So I really love Gustav Graves in this, especially after that. And then at the end, he looks like a Mortal Kombat character when he's in his armor and
Yeah.
his power glove.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the big baddie villains in this?
What do you think, Dave?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like Toby Stevens though, he's one of them actors though where
Yeah.
again talking about like the older guy, like the appreciation for him just keeps going up and up and up because
Yeah.
like when I watched the Netflix Lost in Space and I was like,
Yeah.
why does that guy look familiar? I was like, he's from Die Another Day.
Yeah.
I never even clicked in.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
did he even like do like the audio version of one of the Bond books?
Yeah.
He narrated it and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And it's like just certain actors again, they're just like you can tell they've just picked such good actors to sort of
Yeah.
fill these roles and make it like a broad potential, make it a
Yeah.
broad canvas. And like
Yeah.
I feel like that's where Bond films I've got that level of quality where I know they've got the money and everything to
Yeah.
dispose of these big sets and production offices,
Yeah.
but I think that's where the Bond films work, where they can think, oh well, we're not just going to cast any random person. I know we all like some of these cheaper action movies, but you can tell they haven't got the money to just cast who they want, and
Yeah.
they've got like a limited group of people they can work with. But I think that's where the Bond films do work, where they're just like, well, we're going to cast the right person, just go,
Yeah.
Mhm.
we're going to
Yeah.
like just wait to get the right guy. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Yeah, I think I
Uh,
was disagreeing.
yeah, but I think that's where, like, say, and the bad guys in this film, the right level of sort of the like over the top, but almost believable. And I think a Bond film that's easier said than done. Where you've got to have these characters that like
Mm.
have got these schemes that are so fantastical, but you think, yeah, maybe it could happen.
Yep. And they actually
Yeah.
make it kind of believable,
Yeah.
or where it's like not.
Yeah.
It feels like fantasy, but it's all grounded in reality
Yeah.
Mm.
on some level.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
why
well,
that's why I like Bond movies. They're always just scraping the edge of reality and sci-fi. When it gets a little too far sci-fi, I don't mind it, but a lot of people get turned off like that. But I think it keeps a good balance, like right at the edge of what's believable, like at the edge of what's technology is capable of at the time of the movie.
The perfect First Light's a perfect illustration of
Yes,
that,
yes, that's
right?
a
With
good
the
example with the robots.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
robots right now. Like, but if
yeah,
they had done that even 20 years ago, that would have just felt like total sci-fi,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Or
Well, the one thing I do love about the
yeah,
Bond films, and they've been doing this my entire life, where I feel like the pendulum swings, where it goes like more outrageous, more outrageous, more outrageous. Then they bring it back to where it's
Yeah,
serious.
yeah,
Then it
yeah.
goes more outrageous, more outrageous. Then they bring it back again. It's just
yeah,
like,
I mean, they even did that in the 60s
yeah.
with
Yes,
OHMSS, right? It's
yeah,
a way
yeah.
more
Way grounded
grounded.
after You Only Live Twice. Yeah,
It's a very like traditional spy story
yeah.
compared to the Connery
And then
films.
it starts ramping up until Moonraker, and then it goes back down for Your Eyes Only, and then it starts
Yep.
ramping up again, and then it comes back down Living Daylights, and then it starts
hmm
ramping up again, and then it probably peaks out right here, right? This is like another peak of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is definitely a
yeah,
peak of
yeah,
the fantasy
yeah,
type stuff, and but that's why I said at the
yeah,
beginning, I think this is kind of like the most Bond movie of any Bond movie, because to me
yeah,
that's like, I know OHMSS is my favorite, but I one of the things I love about the franchise is the fantastical elements of it.
yeah.
We're doing a review series of James Bond before Mission Impossible, before The
Mhm.
Bourne Identity,
Yeah.
before any number of other spy thriller
Mhm.
franchises we could discuss for a reason.
Mhm.
And I think one of those reasons is the fantasy of it,
Yeah.
right? Everything is larger than life. Everything is so exciting in all of these
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah, there's something like uncanny valley about it too. Like I'm saying, it's like it's always something sort of surreal and mysterious and on the edge of reality, and it's dangerous and mysterious and exotic.
Or you take something as mundane as torture
Yeah,
at the beginning, and but if you throw the Scorpion Woman in there, now
yeah,
it's suddenly a James Bond
yeah,
thriller.
yeah,
It's way more exciting,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. And then I guess that leads up to the end. We were already talking about the ending a bit. Very epic. We get, oh man, probably the most epic of any Bond movie ending. I really like Moonraker's climax, and Living Daylights had a pretty good one on the plane. I mean, all of them do. Especially your favorite of You to a Kill. I think that's my favorite climax. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, this one, like it,
Oh,
they
you mean
re-
when Max Zorin captures Stacy from a blimp
yeah.
running down a hill with a rope? You're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really exciting. Oh my God. It was
Oh,
hard to believe, I'll give you that.
yeah. The one,
but I think
but
with the Bond films, though,
uh,
imagine though when they got to even a couple of films before Die Another Day, imagine though you keep doing one fantastic ending, one, and then you keep thinking, how can we top that last movie? Like, what can we possibly do
yeah.
to like,
Oh, I
you've literally
know.
got like the most elaborate action scenes anybody's ever put on film, and then you
Yeah.
think, yeah, do it better next time. It's like, pardon?
Well,
Yeah.
usually it's like they just do something different. They
Yeah.
just do something
Yeah, they
totally
do.
different,
Yeah.
right? It's like the Moonraker intro. Who would have thought, or not Moonraker, but Octopussy. The
Yeah.
Octopussy intro where he's fighting Jaws in like up in the plane, and then
Yeah.
it becomes this insane fight in free fall,
Yeah. The
and for
Moonraker. Yeah.
survival, and it's so intense, and they actually did it
Yeah.
because it was 1970, whatever it
Yeah.
was, 78 or
79. Yeah.
79,
Yeah.
but
78
like they
maybe.
actually all jumped out of these planes to film this fight in the air.
Yeah. With like like a
It's so
fight.
exciting.
Yeah. Like
Who would have thought of that? Like right
hundred like
after
yep.
whatever was right before that, right?
Yeah, Spy Who Loved Me was the big parachute scene, which was also amazing.
Right.
But this one, I mean, I don't know if it had as much practical. I know it probably did have a lot more than we realized. A lot of those sets on that plane were giant sets that would move and shake around, and that the actors would be rolling around on them inside that giant plane with all the helicopters and cars on it. But I mean, before that, we had that big twist, like I said, twisted metal ice battle with Bond and Zhao, with the Aston Martin and with all of its gadgets against the Jaguar with all of its gadgets. They even went inside of the ice palace with the racing around, destroying all that stuff. I think Lee Tamahori said we can't make this big set and not have the cars race in here. I think they had to modify it where the cars could race in there. That big ice set, and then of course the last final epic moment where the battle aboard the plane with the power glove and all the Emperor Palpatine electrocution and and the boys fighting the boys, the girls fighting the girls in Mortal Kombat type stage, like Miranda fighting Jinx, Miranda all decked out in like a leather sports bra with her fencing pants and gloves and Hallie in her military type uniform. It looked like a Mortal Kombat fight. Same thing with Bond. Gustav really looked like a Mortal Kombat character fighting around in this plane as Icarus, the laser, was tearing up, was shooting down at the mines around the in South Korea, and it was taking out all of the guys down on the ground, but it was cutting up the plane at the same time, so the plane's falling apart, and all that epic stuff, and then finally Gustav meets his demise in a very creative way, and so does Miranda, and then they end up doing sort of a Living Daylights type escape, but instead of with a Jeep or a Land Rover, it was or a Land Cruiser or whatever that was, or was it a Jeep? I can't remember. Instead of that, they did it with a helicopter. End up in a little hut with a lady at the end, and we get the funny Moneypenny scene. Like, what do you guys think of the ending of this movie?
Well, it's super elaborate. That, like, I mean,
Yeah.
just for all the stuff you just said there, but I think even just the little moments really make it for me. Like when the Aston Martin's upside down and he presses the ejector seat button and it flips in the right way up, and the acting there by Pierce Brosnan is like so. I mean, how would you act that scene? I mean, like just the different elements involved in that scene that he probably was never there on set, but he really sells that scene, and the fact that it's like as well an Aston Martin and a Jaguar. I mean, you know, two of the coolest British. And that's one thing about Britain. I was again the Bond films are great examples of this, where that like I feel like loads of British industries have like fell by the wayside and you know aren't nowhere near as strong as they used to be. But then when a Bond film comes out, you think, yeah, we do make Aston Martins, yeah, we do make Jaguars, yeah, we do make all these cool clothes. And it's like this big showcase for like all this cool stuff, and like say the Pinewood sets and everything, just this great thing. And it's just again that car, just a car chase on itself. I mean, that Jaguar chasing an Aston Martin on ice. I mean, how has that never been done before? I mean, like, you know, again, it's just like you keep setting that bar so high for the self, and the speed ramping as well. And I know it's like kind of quote unquote age now, the way it will just go like speeded up for a little bit. But I love that concept because it just gives an extra little flavour to it. It's really nice sequences. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, everything you both said, and the fact that the cars could roll around on ice somehow in a straight line to film the chase sequences is incredible, right? I mean, obviously it was a set or however they did it. Like that was sort of the miracle of the movie to me. It was like there's no way those cars would just go straight like that on all this ice. But I thought it was really cool though how all that was filmed. The last sequence at the end too, I mean, it's so exciting, the fight on the plane with Graves, and you got that really emotional ending where he kills his father right before Bond comes in, and you know everything goes crazy on the plane. The guy tries to shoot him, and it hits the window. All the generals go flying, you know, out the window progressively. That was kind of funny.
Heck yeah.
They look so dignified and serious, and then they're just flailing as they're falling out of the window.
I forgot to mention his little tech guy, or his little head, like Igor,
the little Gollum tech guy.
Yeah, he flew out of there right away. You might miss it if you blink. He flies out of
right. Yep, just right away he's gone. Yeah, dude, that guy. could have been Gollum.
Yeah.
Like he looked so much like Andy Serkis.
Oh yeah.
We've just reminded me as well. I don't know if I've just imagined this or read it somewhere, but when it's about him killing his father, but was it partly the reason the film was called Die Another Day? Is so the acronym is DAD. I'm sure I've read
Oh
somewhere that
wow.
there's a
Wow.
reason it's called that, so they could call it the Dad. I don't know if that I've just
Interesting.
misremembered that or something else. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Maybe.
we never saw a villain like with a dad, like a father relationship, did we? Other than that new one, that Mr. Webb and his son
Hmm.
Damien in that new game. But we,
Well, and technically, you know, Tracy and her dad.
yeah, yeah. I
Um,
really like, yeah. That's
you know,
but yeah.
he's great, of course,
Oh,
but
I
and
love.
the only thing close to that was
Yeah.
probably Zoran,
Oh
right?
yeah,
And
you were talking about that what's his
mhm. Dr. Nazi, whatever his
Mortner,
name
yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like the father figure who like created him. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
But no,
yeah.
the ending was great.
Uh,
I love the ending. I love that they end up in a little like no tech hut on an island,
yeah.
right? Or wherever it is, like
Yeah.
somewhere near Korea, I guess. But it's it's so cool because
Mhm.
it's yeah, it just feels a lot like the Cuba thing again, like bringing it full
Yeah.
circle
Yeah.
a little bit right at the end.
And
But
we get that view of the little hut while the John Barry-esque music's playing. I guess Tamahori said when they were editing it, that scene is just for a placeholder. He had the soundtrack of "You Only Live Twice" on there, and so he told David Arnold to do that. He says, "Well,
mhm.
I don't want to just copy it. Like I want to do my own thing." So he made that song. It sounds a lot like John Barry. Yeah,
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 It's very dreamy, kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
right at the end, which is nice after
yeah,
such an intense battle and
yeah,
barely surviving. You know, they
yeah,
almost started World War III at the
yeah,
end there.
yeah, yeah.
Well, they
'Cause-
must be some of the hardest pieces of music to write. That I feel like they when it's slow and there's not much going on,
yeah,
in terms of what's preceded it. I think they
Hmm.
must be the hardest pieces of music to really get emotional about. That, like to you've got to put so
yeah,
much feeling in there. It must be
yeah.
difficult.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, to make it really emotional right after this epic battle
Yeah. No kidding.
sequence.
Yeah.
It's a total vibe shift, like
Yeah.
really right away.
Well, the flip
Well,
side is
actually, you know, there was a little break there because you get Moneypenny in the
Yeah, that was so
simulator
funny.
right before it, which is one of the funniest
That,
scenes in the whole series, really.
that's like what
Probably.
everyone was waiting for that or not waiting for it ever since the first movie. Like when's Moneypenny gonna get with Bond
Right.
or you don't want it to
Yeah.
happen either way. Like wow, when I first saw it, I didn't catch on. I guess some people probably caught on, but I didn't catch on. Like whoa, this what is this? The last Bond movie? This is unthinkable. Like he's making it very passionately. You can tell Pierce is really gets into his passionate scenes like he does it really well, and
Hmm.
so is she. And I go, wow, this is. And of course, it turns out to be the VR program. Oh, so
Yeah.
classic, a Q type of moment. Yeah,
Well, and it's so that
yeah,
scene too is so
yeah,
cool because
yeah,
in Goldeneye, his first film, she's so cold to him.
yeah,
In the whole that whole thing,
yeah,
like she's not, she is so standoffish. She
yeah,
is so like you can like the vibe is like
yeah,
she's melted from she was the Ice Queen in Goldeneye, and now she's like you know doesn't even she can't hide her desire
yeah,
for him. Like I really like that.
yeah,
I like that progression.
yeah. No, yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always thought though, with because obviously Sting Samantha Bond in real life, but I always felt like they did his surname have any like
Yeah,
decision on
yeah,
Bearing.
getting cast
yeah,
at like because you'd almost think she wouldn't even go for the role. Think I'm named Bond. There's no way they're
Right.
going to cast me as
yeah,
in a
yeah.
Bond
I
movie. They were
know.
like, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
you
was
know,
just a good
it's
actor.
like this is a franchise that has a history of like really interesting, ridiculous casting though, right? Because
Yeah,
of just Lazenby alone, right? The guy
But
gets one of Connery's old suits and just shows up at at Broccoli's office, right, and says, "I hear you're looking for James Bond. Well, here I am." You know, and they actually cast him.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I've always thought
Yeah.
about Roger Moore though, because the name Roger Moore sounds like a character in a James Bond movie. It's like
Yeah.
literally, it's almost like a cartoon name. His name Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Literally, almost sounds like
Yeah.
something from a 70s British comedy movie. But that was just his actual name.
Yeah.
But,
It does seem like a name that Python would do a skit
Yeah.
about.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You're right.
Can
So
you just see John Cleese being like, "Oh, is there more of you than Sam or
Yeah.
David or?"
Well,
Why do you
I've
think
always
there's so much of you, Mr. Moore?
well,
Everywhere.
I've always liked though as well because he's like meant me an English secret agent, and he's very rarely played by an English guy. It's like
Yeah.
you get that Scottish guy,
Mm.
get that Welsh guy, get that
Irish.
Australian, get that Irish guy. You
Yeah.
know, it's just like okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Connery's Scottish, right?
Yep. Yep.
And
Yeah.
Daniel, is Daniel British?
He's British,
I
right?
think he is British.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is he the
yeah,
only
English.
one
Yeah.
that's
So
actually been
yeah, him
British?
and Timmy's Welsh, or is he British?
No, he's Welsh. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
he's
So
Welsh.
it's
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
Roger Moore's English.
Roger
Daniel
Moore
Craig's
and Daniel
English.
are the only ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone
Wow.
seems to get kind of stuck up about that. They're like, "Oh, he has to be British," but he was only British twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was-
I kind of didn't think.
that's the
There's
documentary name. He was only British twice,
yeah
you
the
know.
one I know people I can't stand the idea of an American playing him, and I sort of feel the same way.
Oh God, no.
But I thought maybe James Brolin maybe could have been him. Did you see his auditions
I never saw it.
Yeah, yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah. See,
Octopus
yeah.
for Octopus? Like maybe he could have.
Maybe
Yeah,
you did send those to me.
yeah,
It's been a long. I need to watch
yeah,
them again though. I don't remember that very well.
yeah,
I remember you talking about it anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah,
There's always been a couple of Americans where I've seen where, because being from the UK,
yeah,
I would sort of think, yeah, it's got to be from the UK.
yeah,
But then again, it's like I think if you kind of got the right level of coolness and you
yeah.
can carry yourself quite well, I've conceivably seen a couple of Americans. There's his name escapes me at the moment. I saw a film called Shooting Fish once,
Uh-huh.
and there was a guy in there, an American guy, and I thought, oh, he'd be a good James Bond. But like, I feel like it's just an obvious thing to just be like, yeah, just get somebody from the UK. It just
Yeah,
seems to just make sense. Like,
yeah,
I feel that way really myself.
yeah, me
I
too.
don't think that. Yeah, if they tried to do an American, that would be really weird.
Yeah.
I think.
I really didn't like that Casino Royale from the 50s because they even changed not only
Hmm.
the actor but the character to American.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's a pretty good movie that made for TV special. The Casino Royale with Peter Lorre plays Le Chiffre.
Hmm.
It's really good actually, but it just turns me off so much that James Bond is American.
Right.
Yeah,
That's too bad they
yeah,
did that.
yeah,
Obviously they didn't have to. They built a whole franchise out of it,
yeah,
out of him being British after
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So, and it's done quite well, it would seem.
yeah,
but isn't that kind of funny though? And again, we've talked about this loads over the different videos we've done. But is it kind of interested that how like you would almost think you guys being American, you would prefer an American, but you prefer a
Mhm.
British guy, and then
yeah,
loads
Yeah.
of British people don't like the American Bond girls and things like that. Or they don't like the films
yeah,
set in America. But it's kind
Right.
of weird though that people actually want
hmm
stuff that's not from their own country. They want like more interesting locations or different actors playing the film, and I think that's kind of cool because it's like you think, oh, you could cast any American as Bond, and it's just like, no,
hmm
cast a British person, or
Yeah,
like
no.
yeah. So
yeah,
I think that's kind
I
of
don't want to
cool.
see Tom Cruise as James Bond. I'm
yeah,
sorry. Like I
no,
don't want to see that at all.
yeah,
It was bad enough he did Valkyrie with an American accent. That was just excruciating to watch.
But I think there's certain
uh,
roles, and I think James Bond's one and Doctor Who's another, where, and we talk about the Bond girls that being like, they're almost like just like finding, treasure in the desert or something that like these people, when you get somebody who can be a James Bond or somebody who can be a Doctor Who or somebody who can be
Hmm.
a certain character, it's like it's almost obvious from day one. It's like, yeah, of course, Pierce Brosnan's game James Bond. He looks
Oh
like James
yeah.
Bond. He talks like James Bond. It's just like, yeah,
You
that's
can
the
watch
guy.
Remington Steele, right? Like 15
Yeah.
years before Goldeneye and see that. You
Mm.
know, like yeah, obviously this guy could definitely be James Bond.
And probably another good example is Superman. I feel like on the one hand, you think, oh, any 6 foot handsome guy could be Superman, but it's not until you see an actual Christopher Reeve or something like that that
Mhm.
like, yeah, it's like, yeah, of course, that guy's Superman. It's like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like he was just born to be that
Yeah.
character.
Henry Cavill I thought was pretty good as Superman as
Yeah,
well.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah,
Um,
but isn't that funny as well? That's an interesting thing that you've just brought up there because you think
because he's British.
Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Christopher Reeve American,
Yeah.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christopher Reeve American, Henry
Yeah.
Cavill British.
But the
Both
thing
could
is,
play.
Henry did such a good accent,
Yeah.
Mm.
right? Like I didn't even know he was
Yeah, me
British when I
too.
saw him as Superman.
Yeah, me
Like
too.
I learned that later, and it blew my mind. I was so impressed
Mm.
with his acting that he could pass for like I literally had no idea he was British. You know, like that's the level. And I think if an American was going to be Bond, that's what he's got to do with the act. He's got to have
Yeah.
that accent down 110%, or it's just not going to feel right.
Well, talking about him being a good actor though, because one thing about Henry Cavill that really surprised me. Anytime I've seen him in a film, he always comes across as being like dead cool and dead sophisticated, dead suave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I've,
sure.
I've seen interviews with him in real life. He's a proper massive nerd,
Yeah,
and
he
he's
is,
like,
yeah.
He plays Warhammer 40K, dude.
Yeah.
Like he actually like, and he's really into it too. It's not like a
Yeah.
casual thing. Like he has the figures and like has the meetings and does the war games and
Yeah.
everything. Like he's like into it like a 12-year-old was into Pokemon in '98. You know,
Yeah.
well,
like
it's,
I mean,
I don't.
he's hardcore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
well,
He's. I really want him to be Bond. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I know even he says he's too old, which is ridiculous. We were just talking about all the Bonds who have been over his age when they started, and he says, "Oh, maybe I want to be a villain." Like, why?
Yeah.
He would have to get fucking like the most studly man on the planet to be Bond. If you have that guy, he's just gonna make Bond look like a little bitch. No matter, like you can't have. You got to find someone really good to be Bond. Then, if that guy's the villain,
Right.
yeah,
I think,
yeah,
yeah, this is why I said like I want an unknown
yeah,
because I feel like that's, well, I'm obviously biased. I feel like that's where the real magic happens, right?
yeah, yeah,
With Bond, when you get an unknown, like
mhm,
Patrick Gibson too. Like I
yeah.
didn't know anything about what he had done
Oh,
before, so to me that was kind of an unknown thing for
yeah,
the new video game.
dude, yeah.
And I think he did great, you
Dude,
know.
he's
So
awesome. I would, you know what I was thinking if that guy be, if I would not be disappointed if that guy was the Bond. That's like kind of like the Bond I was hoping for.
oh
Come-
yeah, yeah. If they wanted to do a
Yeah,
film with
yeah,
him
yeah,
and do like origin
yeah,
story set like
yeah,
in the 50s and
yeah,
60s,
yeah,
that'd be fantastic,
yeah. He's got
I
a.
think.
I'm thinking if this games are such a big thing now, like they're almost up there with movies, so it almost feels like the new Bond movie. But I'm thinking
It does.
if the games had been like this back in the '60s, I could just see this guy just being the movie guy too, like the new
Yeah.
Bond, the new James Bond, the new hit video game is also the Bond in the new movie. Like I could just
Right?
you're right because
Yeah,
it just seems like
absolutely.
yeah
Well, I think that's what
yeah
they should do because of
yeah
how popular the game is. It's
yeah
obviously people really like it. They
yeah
like him as Bond,
mhm
and um, Amazon owns the property, so they can produce whatever they want anyway.
yeah
And they should just use him for a movie.
yeah
I think that would be way better than Cavill
yeah
or Idris Elba or any of the other people
yeah.
they've talked about. These just massive names because there's just too much. For me, it's like they've already done too much.
Yeah,
I associate them with all these
yeah,
other
me
things.
too.
Like I just can't. Every time I see Cavill, I'm gonna be thinking Superman.
Yeah,
If I have to watch him be James Bond, I just feel like it's gonna be so weird.
yeah,
You know, like it's not gonna, like you said, it's like he's almost at this level where
uh,
he can't even be a villain because of how
uh,
uh his physical presence.
yeah.
Like you'd have to have somebody else
So,
be
Yeah,
It's like you need like a Brad Pitt
yeah,
in
same
like
one.
'92 to be
Yeah, no
Bond,
kidding,
right?
pretty
Like
much. Yeah.
something like that.
Like
Like,
same thing with Idris Elba. Like if Idris Elba's the villain, like you're gonna have to get like a damn like handsome studly.
yeah,
Like-
right. Same kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Well, you've
yeah,
just reminded me saying that though,
yeah,
because this always makes me laugh when I think about it. But
yeah,
when you talk about like you gotta have these manly men and like a
yeah,
really handsome, like
yeah,
macho guy.
yeah,
But when they very first announced Daniel Craig as James Bond, and
yeah,
it's when he used to go on all the James Bond message
yeah,
boards and all the old websites,
yeah.
and they're literally post after post after post saying Daniel Craig's not attractive and he's not.
Wow,
We want
yeah,
this attractive man and this attractive man. And then it was like literally about 100 posts down,
yeah,
somebody said, do you realise we've been arguing for hours about what makes a man attractive? And it just
yeah,
is really, it
yeah,
just,
Right.
I always find it funny when men supposedly don't know if a man is attractive or not. They're like,
yeah,
I can't say this man's attractive, else people think I'm gay. It's like,
yeah,
you know when a man's attractive or
yeah.
not. It's like,
He's
it's like,
not. Yeah, that guy's
Yeah, I mean,
Daniel Craig is
it,
very very handsome. Not in the same way
right.
as like the others, but that guy's a stud. Like all the women love him.
Mhm.
Like he's a stud. Daniel Craig.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
thing, right? It's like you can tell that
yeah,
like Henry Cavill obviously
yeah,
is very attractive to women
yeah,
and like it just physical presence and
yeah,
everything, right? Like that it's not you don't have to be a genius to figure these things out,
yeah,
you know. It doesn't mean that you're gay
yeah,
just because you notice these things.
yeah,
well, we talked about Henry Cavill as well playing Warhammer. One thing,
yeah,
a dead sweet interview I saw with Henry Cavill there once, somebody talked about building a gaming PC,
yeah.
and Henry Cavill suddenly went on this thing of like, yeah, I've just built mine. Yeah,
Yep.
I've used this processor, I've used this
Hmm.
keyboard or
Yeah,
whatever. And it was just like, he like instantly was like, yeah, you know
yeah,
that guy. He knows exactly what he's talking
yeah.
about.
Yeah, I love
Right.
that. I love that interview. It's
Yeah,
so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I mean, I like Henry for that. That's the other problem too with Henry, The Witcher, right?
yeah.
Like he was in the Witcher series
Mhm,
as Geralt or whatever, and
mhm,
that's like such an iconic role. In
mhm,
addition to Superman, he's already done these like really major nerd franchises,
mhm. Oh, he's gonna be
and I feel like if
Highlander. He's gonna be.
see,
Of
he's done it
course, yeah.
out of order, right?
Yeah,
This is the thing. Like Connery did like all his sophisticated stuff, his like drama acting
yeah,
and the Bond stuff before he did sci-fi
yeah,
and the nerd stuff, right?
yeah,
Like and with Cavill it's like the opposite. He's already
yeah,
done the nerd stuff, got super famous doing it,
yeah.
and now he's gonna be James Bond. Like it's just it sort of
I know.
breaks
Yeah,
my brain.
I know.
Like it's
I just think it would be just such if it just would be such a, what do you call it, like if he ends up not being Bond, it's just a big mistake. Kind of like
I think it's a
if
missed
Pierce
opportunity. I'll give you that.
missed opportunity. That's exactly it. Like imagine
But they
if
should have done
Pierce,
it 10 years ago,
yeah,
though.
yeah.
Like that's
I'm
the thing.
yeah. I was thinking yeah, because he's just too much known for Superman and all that other stuff now. But it was such a think about what a missed opportunity Pierce Brosnan not being Bond. Like if he ended up not being Bond, or like Roger Moore, who like they'd been talking about him being Bond ever since the movies first came out. Imagine if they missed that opportunity. I just feel like he's like the same thing. Like that's a totally missed opportunity for him not being
Yeah.
Bond. Yeah,
No, I
I,
agree. I think
yeah,
he could have been really great at it.
yeah,
I think too, like with Brosnan, for instance, after
yeah.
this movie, like we were talking about it a while ago, or even when we were
Mhm.
playing First Light, how cool it would be if we could have Brosnan just come back and at least just do the voice acting for a new
Yeah, do
video
a video
game.
game. That'd be so awesome.
Yeah, like or I mean, we're probably not going to be able to get him in another movie, but I
Yeah,
mean, how amazing would that be?
yeah,
I think it would be so cool. This is the thing too, like if they just wanted to do like something totally different, something totally different would be like an older James Bond
yeah.
doing, you know, like realistic kinds of work and missions and stuff
Mhm.
with other people. I'd love to see
Mhm.
Pierce Brosnan do something like that, you know, where
Yeah,
he's sort of like maybe more of a an M kind of role or
yeah,
something in the Bond universe. Like that'd be really cool.
yeah,
But I don't know. This is just me spitballing my random fantasies. Now, what I
yeah,
really want is a sequel to Die Another Day in
yeah,
2004, and I'm
yeah.
not going to get it,
Yes,
obviously.
exactly. Yeah.
So
Well, we'll have to play. We'll have to play Everything or Nothing. That's the closest thing we'll
that's
get.
right.
Yeah.
We'll get everything or nothing. Yeah, Mighty Plume.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
say
And
quick while I think about it though. I just realised when you just mentioned it, but and I'm a sucker for stuff like this. But Henry Cavill is in the new Highlander film. Who was in the original Highlander film? Sean
Sean
Connery.
Yeah.
Connery,
Yeah.
but
How
after he was
perfect is
Bond.
that?
Yeah.
After he was Bond.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got the Kurgan. Isn't he played by Batista, who fought with James Bond in Spectre? No?
Spectre. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
This is
Yeah.
the other
cool.
thing that's kind
Yeah.
of for your Henry Cavill
Yeah.
thing with Bond. It's
Yeah.
like they should have ended Craig with Spectre.
Yeah.
Like that should have been the end of Craig, and
Yeah.
then they should have picked up with Cavill like right away
Yeah.
if they were gonna do that. I feel like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I wish I could go back in a time machine, and I wouldn't have the power or influence, but if I had a time machine, I might be able to. Anyway,
Right.
we had a nice discussion there. We kind of got off the subject. I wanted to close up
Yeah.
though with your thoughts on the movie. Now I know you guys both say you like it more than ever, but I just wanted to hear what you guys say about your most recent after your most recent viewing. Do you like it even more or less or than before? For me, like I said, every time I watch it, I like it more. When I first saw it, I loved it, but then like I think I got influenced like a little jerk by all the other like influencers talking about how shitty it is and like oh yeah, this is crappy. Um, um,
All the
and then
haters.
after Casino Royale came out, I watched that and I go, well, maybe it is crappy because Casino Royale is like such a good movie.
Yep.
Like it wasn't we'll get to that one next time, but now going back after Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace and all that, then I went back and watched Die Another Day. Wow, this is more like my Bond. And then every time I watched it
Hmm.
since then, like and then like why can I hate on this movie if I love Diamonds Are Forever and I love A View to a Kill? Why? There's no reason for me to hate on this because some dodgy CGI that people don't like,
Right.
or the song that people don't like. Like there's no reason for me. This is like right up my alley for a Bond movie. Yeah, so I like this
Yep.
as just as much as ever. I think the hot take. I think I might like it as much as GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
That's so interesting because
Yeah,
I was actually kind of building up to that. I
yeah,
was gonna
yeah,
say
yeah,
I think this most recent viewing,
yeah,
just the entertainment factor is so big on this
yeah,
one. It's like it's like I GoldenEye is probably still my favorite just
yeah,
from
yeah,
purely a filmmaking perspective,
yeah.
plot and everything like that. But
Hmm.
I think that this movie is just as good in an entertainment
Yeah,
value way. You know, like
yeah.
I just smile watching it at so many things,
Hmm.
you know? Like it's just that's the thing. It's like if you just pay attention to how a movie makes you feel, it's like
Hmm.
this movie makes me feel fantastic.
Yes.
So, I could just watch it. Oh, this is the one too where it's like if you were just like desert island Bond movies, right?
Hmm.
This is probably one that I would pick if I could only pick a handful of them.
Yeah.
It'd be this one because there's so much in it.
Yeah.
There's so much variety.
To
Yeah.
be fair,
Yeah.
though, can you give a film better praise than that? It just makes you feel really good. I mean,
Hmm.
what? I mean, that's as good as it gets, really, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
Like what else you know, I mean people watch dramas if they want to feel sad, I guess, or
Hmm.
comedies if they want to laugh, but
Yeah.
it's like you can watch this movie and it has the whole range of human emotion
Yeah.
and experience from tragedy to comedy
Yeah.
and and it's somehow I mean it's very wacky, but it's also believable because the
Hmm.
actors are so good.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like me. I feel like, and again, I say this all the time, but I think the bar for like my film appreciation was set either really high or really low. And like, because one of the very first Bond films I ever saw was Never Say Never Again, and
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
enjoyed it because that was one of the very first films I saw. I didn't realize it was a remake when I saw it. I didn't realize it
Yeah.
wasn't an official Bond film when I first saw it. I
Right.
just thought it was like, oh, Sean Connery's back as James Bond. So to me, it's only because that film took so much flack, and I've took so much flack for defending that film over the years.
Yeah.
So to
Yeah.
me, when people like, I think Die Another Day is rubbish, well, it's like,
Hmm.
well, they don't think it as rubbish as Never Say Never Again. so it was so it was always like, well, so it was always like, well, maybe it's not that bad. So
Right.
I think I've always given it more of a leeway than most people did. And even stuff like the invisible car, when people are like the invisible car's stupid, it's like, well, yeah, it is, but it's like, well, so is, I know a keyring that if you whistle it explodes, or a guy with metal teeth. I mean, there's so much about the Bond films that are stupid. So again, I always felt like I never like even the things that got criticised for. It's like, well, and I've got to admit the bit where the CGI where he's like doing that like with the parachute thing, that looks really, it's not ideal. But I feel like the things that it takes flack for, I was always way more forgiving than most people were. And again, like, even like the Madonna song and things like that, because like my generation grew up on Madonna, whereas someone like my dad would be like, I don't like that Madonna song. But I was like, well, I like Madonna, so but yeah, so it was always like
Right.
I always thought it was okay, but again, the more time goes on, it's definitely I've definitely enjoyed it more and more each time. So yeah, it's just a nice film to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Excellent.
everything is so over the top. Everything is like just Madonna does the song, man. I mean, I mean, it's almost like Michael Jackson does the song. You know, it's like there's nothing like there's nothing more,
Yeah.
peak like in
Yeah.
music kind of sort of like for that, like in terms of like just
Yeah.
cultural zeitgeist influence.
Yeah.
It's just at a totally different level. If you think about it, like Garbage doing the song right before this, and 9 out of 10 people didn't even know who Garbage was.
Mhm.
When World Is Not Enough came out, I guarantee you, it's like relatively. I mean, in our generation, sure,
Mhm.
right? Garbage is huge, but anyone like who was 30 when, or like 40, let's say
Yeah.
40, right? When World Is Not Enough came out, they didn't know anything about Garbage or
Mhm.
care
Yeah,
for that matter.
Yeah.
And then Madonna is doing the song 3 years later. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
whether you liked her or not, you knew who she was.
Yeah.
Like that's just a totally different level.
Yeah.
Joe, you've just said something there though that I've never thought about. There, Michael Jackson doing a Bond theme. I wonder if
Right.
they even approached Michael Jackson or
Yeah,
Prince or something that like were they just like,
right.
nah, like because so
I couldn't
Michael Jackson.
imagine Michael doing it. Maybe Prince would have been amazing
Yeah.
potentially,
Yeah,
but yeah, but so I feel like for certain artists like that, once you're but so big and famous and everything, it's kind of
Yeah.
like I don't know how much of it's an ego thing. Like
Mhm.
they might look at it like it's beneath them,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
but I don't know. I mean, who's to say, right? I think Paul McCartney did a Bond song, so that's
Yeah.
crazy, right?
It's
Like,
a good point. Yeah,
that's
well,
that's probably not true at all, but it just depends on the individual artist, I guess.
oh no, I think again, I don't really even know that much about Prince really because he kind of almost like passed me by even though he was like super successful.
Mhm.
But
Right.
I almost imagine Prince not wanting to do a Bond theme. I don't know why.
Hmm.
I've got no evidence about that with whatsoever. But I can imagine Prince going,
But
"I'm
it's
okay, thanks."
interesting, because he did the
Mhm.
soundtrack for the first Batman movie,
Yeah.
Oh,
the
of course,
Burton
yeah,
movie,
yeah. Oh,
right?
that's true. Yeah, good point. I never forgot
Yeah.
about that. Of course.
But the thing about Prince too, though, is like he's really like a unique kind of performer, right? Like I really think when I think of him, I really think of an artist
Mhm.
more
Mm.
so than a musician in a lot of ways because he's just yeah, I just think like he was such a creative guy
Mhm.
and so different from everybody else in an industry that has so much variety to begin with, music, right?
Mhm.
What
He still really stands out as an individual.
Well, we should mention Paul McCartney because the Beatles was one band and Prince was another where I almost felt like they were too big for me. And it's such a ridiculous
Yeah.
thing to say, but I was like so intimidated by how obsessed the fans were and how
Hmm.
successful the music was. That I was like, when people talk about Purple Rain, I was like, am I allowed to listen to this record? It seemed way too cool for me to ever be into. And even like watching Purple Rain, I didn't
Yeah.
see Purple Rain properly until 10 years ago.
Wow.
Like,
Right.
it's such an iconic 80s movie, and the
Mhm.
poster's so iconic, the soundtrack's so
Mhm.
iconic, and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But I was literally just like, I'm not allowed to watch that. It's too cool. Like, you know,
Right.
and it seems so silly to say it out loud, but that's what I thought. You know.
You know, that's
Yeah.
sort of it makes sense though. I mean, that's like I grew up listening to the Beatles. My family loved the Beatles, and I still love their music. And but it is that sort of thing. Like we recently watched Hard Day's Night, and I hadn't seen it in many years. Like I probably hadn't seen it in at least a decade. And you know that, but it's like as soon as it starts, it's like you just feel like you're in that world. Like I can't explain like the immersion of that movie, and I cannot even begin to fathom what it must have been like in 1964
Wow.
to see that film because of that, because it was so different from everything else and so inviting at the same time. Like the music is so good. Um, yeah, it's just infectious watching it. Like you just feel like you're a Beatle watching that movie, you know, in their group, their little conversations and comedy, and then they're playing the music and everything. It's yeah, it definitely feels like it's a otherworldly experience almost.
That's good that you can put yourself in that headspace to think that, like, watching this in 1964, that must be just next level. Like,
Yeah.
I always think about Wizard of Oz that, like, now people watch Wizard of Oz
Hmm.
and go, "Oh yeah, it's cool." Imagine watching Wizard of Oz in 1939
Oh,
and
God,
just
No,
yeah.
yeah, in
your head
39 it would have
explodes.
been unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm sure, yeah, totally. Same kind of thing. But yeah, like you said, it's just these sort of it almost feels like it's something that isn't allowed because it's just so powerful,
Well, I think with
those
me,
kinds of
it's so funny.
experiences.
There's certain things though, and Prince is the perfect example where, like, no, none of my friends were into Prince. I have almost no memories of like seeing his music on TV or on the radio, and I know that can't be true because he was so popular. But
Yeah.
I honestly feel like if you built a time machine and went to December 31st, 1989, and you could find me and my friends and say, "Tell me everything you know about Prince," I'd be like. He did that Batman song. Like
And you said the same thing about Ray Parker Jr., right? Like, oh, he did the
Yeah.
Ghostbusters
Yeah.
song. Yeah, like
well, I've heard so many people say more recently that he had such a good career and he was like he played on loads of records and he sold like all these different been on
Yeah.
tons of albums and he's a
yeah.
good guitar player
Yeah,
and
he's a
stuff like
good
that. And when I say
guitarist too. That's he kind of overlooked guitarist. Yeah.
Well, that's
yeah,
the
that,
thing
Yeah.
too. That
Yeah.
actually is what got me into Prince
Yeah.
late. Like, I didn't hear Prince much at all, aside
Yeah.
from, of course, the first Batman film,
Yeah.
until I was like in college, and I had a friend. I knew a girl in college who was really into Prince. Like, he was like her favorite artist and everything. She gave me like his greatest hits or whatever, and I started listening to it more. And I had heard some of the songs on the radio as a kid. I always really liked Little Red Corvette. I always thought it was such a cool song, and I still do. It's still my favorite song he ever did. But um, the just getting into him more later in life also, because years after that I heard someone did an interview with Eric Clapton and asked him like, how does it feel to be the greatest guitarist in the world? And Clapton, this was like probably in the 90s,
Hmm.
it was either the 90s or the 2000s, said like, I don't know, you'd have to ask Prince.
Yeah.
oh wow,
Like, and that shocked me. I was just like, what? Really?
Yeah.
Like of like you could have said Jimmy Page,
Yeah.
you could have said Hendrix,
Yeah.
right? Like or like all these other like really famous classic rock guitarists, you know, and he said Prince. And so that really got my attention, and I went back and I started listening to Prince's music again, and I was like, damn. Yeah, I can kind of see it. It's pretty amazing, the
well,
guitar
it's funny
work.
you say that though. I'm really glad you said that because it's almost unlocked a little bit of a mystery to me. Because once I was talking to one of my friends, again from college, fully enough, you said about somebody from college, but I was talking to somebody with one of my friends from college once about Eric Clapton, and he goes, "Oh, that racist," and I'm like, "Eric Clapton is a racist," and when you said one of his favorite guitarists is Prince, I was
Right.
thinking he doesn't seem like a racist to me.
No.
So I
That's
don't
that
know.
was a big scandal in the 70s. That was actually why he covered uh I Shot the Sheriff by Bob Marley. that was like is my understanding of the story anyway. It was like it was to be a bit of an olive branch to that community, to be like,
Uh,
look, I'm not, I don't know, yeah, I don't know, I don't even know how that got
well,
started,
how did
honestly. I
that
just
get
know that,
started?
yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with the history, but I
Yeah,
know that's why he covered that
yeah,
song.
Oh well.
So yeah, which is so different from his other songs,
yeah,
right? Like it really stands out, but it's a great cover. I still really like the song. I
yeah.
just think it's interesting that that was the case. I don't know what caused it. Again,
Uh,
you'd have to look at the history. I
Again,
have
there was
like very spotty history of music, like
yeah,
trivia.
to be fair though, you think though some of the topics all three of us cover with music, we know, you know, we've got a good working knowledge of music. I think
Oh
everybody's
yeah.
always got the things where, oh, I didn't know who produced this album, or I don't know what record label this album came out, but I think we know. I don't think nobody could ever say we don't know about music. I mean, obviously,
yeah,
we always people always need to know more or want to know more, but
yeah,
I think we give it
Yeah.
a good try.
I agree. I think so too. And
yeah.
Tylord actually plays guitar, right,
Well, that's
too.
true. Yeah.
So he's got the technical knowledge
Oh, not
and
not like that.
yeah, but you're always
Yeah,
working on something,
yeah,
something creative with music and
mm,
you got such an appreciation of the Barry stuff. I mean, that's the other thing too that's kind of interesting if you think about our generation and just how into the Barry music we are. The
yeah,
soundtracks, these classical symphony soundtracks that seem very old fashioned, would seem very old fashioned. They would have been old fashioned by the
yeah,
time any of us were
yeah,
born, right? And yet we're all totally obsessed with that music,
yeah. I don't know what
because
it.
it's so good.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I don't know.
Well,
and
that's one thing
yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Dave.
what's one thing I love
Yeah,
about music though is that the fact that it is so old now, and like you say, they're hundreds of years old. But when you hear a certain melody or a certain, like say, a series of chords, you can't help just be
yeah,
moved by it. Just
yeah,
like even if it's like
Mhm.
something was written
yeah,
300 years ago or
yeah.
something. It's just
Yep.
like
Yeah, I've been finding out new instruments that I didn't even know existed from hundreds of years ago. Like what is it? Beethoven? Was it Beethoven or one of them has that? Is it called the harmonica? That it's like cups that you touch as they spin through water, and you play it like
Oh
a
wow.
piano. It sounds so beautiful.
That's really cool.
Harmonica. Look that up. I didn't know anything about that. I think my daughter was telling me about it, like something she learned at school. It's something Mozart played, or I know it's a classical music piece that you can still get them. It's just like a string of cups all like eating themselves, but they're smaller and smaller, and they spin around. You can spin it with a crank or electronically, and it sort of goes through a trough to keep your fingers wet, and then you touch them
Hmm.
and you play it as it's spinning like a piano, it's keyed just like a piano. And then
Wow.
this other
oh, I didn't know about that. That sounds
this
cool.
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
you
either.
look it up after this. This other instrument, I can't remember what it's called. Electrical, like magnetic waves go through the air, and you use your hands to play it in thin air. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Woo! It would
Yeah,
be in like
Yes,
the
I have
old.
yeah,
seen that.
That
Hmm.
is
yeah. Oh,
incredible. I've been watching people perform those with orchestras. It's so incredible with their hands how they can bend all the notes and make it sound do any melody with it. Do you remember what that thing is called?
oh, they use it in loads of sci-fi movies,
Yeah,
don't they?
yeah,
It's called.
woo! Like back in the
Yep.
50s or whatever. Woo!
It's got Z. Does it begin with Z? Oh, my mind's gone completely blank. But yeah,
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
exactly what you mean. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, what's it called?
Uh,
Oh my God. I was going to say harpsichord, but it's not that.
no,
It's.
no, it's
I'll click in a sec what it is.
yeah,
But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I saw this young lady was performing it with a big orchestra. I think she was doing like the Star Trek song to it. Well, I go, that sounds
Hmm.
good. Like, I wonder if did they use that in the Star Trek? I thought it was like a woman's voice in the original Star Trek.
Oh, I don't
The
know.
main
They
mel-
might
I
have.
don't know if it's
They
that
might
thing,
have.
but they would use that sound in old sci-fi movies from like the 50s. It was like,
I think they had to use that. Yeah, they had to
yeah,
either
yeah,
use that or a
yeah.
synthesizer, probably for the
Yeah,
Star
it's
Trek
incredible. It
sound.
just looks like a battery with like a wire sticking off of it, and you hold your hand off to the side, and one hand controls like the pitch, and one control hand
Hmm.
controls like he's just holding it between like a magnetic current, or it's just incredible that how like musicians could modify something like that to into an instrument, or like just some
Yeah,
electrical sound, like magnetic waves or whatever they are.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
What's so exciting? I
awesome.
can literally picture
yeah,
somebody playing that instrument, but I can't think of what
yeah,
it's called. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, but I think as well with like anything like electronic-y, that's why some
yeah,
synth scores are the best. Where it's just
yeah,
like it's got that otherworldly
yeah,
quality to it. It's awesome, yeah.
yeah,
Hmm. Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, that's again why I like the OHMSS
Oh yeah,
soundtrack so much,
that
and the
Moog
theme.
synthesizer, yeah.
Hmm.
And then that kind of went away. We got a little bit of it in Diamonds, but it kind of went away
Yeah,
after that, right?
yeah, they just didn't use it that much.
Yeah.
And of course, No Time to Die. That's like the only thing we really like about it, right? Is the
Oh yeah,
some of the music they
yeah, yeah.
use.
It's kind of a
Well, that's
cheat.
one thing I loved
Yeah,
about Living Daylights, though, where it's the first John Barry score that's got like an electronic drum
yes,
machine in it,
yeah,
and it's
Hmm.
like that sounds so cool.
that was so cool. When that Bond thing kicks in with that, it's so cool.
And as well, I loved about when we do stuff like this, though, that like
Yeah,
I didn't think at the start of this we would talk about Prince. I
yeah,
literally did
Right?
not think that's where
yeah,
this was conversation was going. That's
yeah,
awesome.
I didn't either.
yeah,
Well, it's interesting that we had this music conversation and we're talking about all of the old stuff like
yeah,
Beethoven and
yeah,
classical music, these old instruments. And then Dave, you and I were
yeah,
talking just yesterday about a classic death metal album from 1998 or
yeah,
1988, right?
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
yeah,
like this
Well, I didn't
wide
realize
gambit
about.
of music.
Well, to me though, I'm dead grateful when people tell me about albums that I would not necessarily listen to because, like, if you said to me, "Oh, listen to Leprosy by Death," I'd be like, "What's that?" So it's
Yeah,
like, but it's so awesome and like it was
right?
so cool listening to it in my mate's car because it's got like a decent sound system in his car and it
Hmm.
sounded so cool.
Oh,
And
right on.
obviously, it was a lot to take in on a first listen,
Right.
but some
Yeah.
of the guitar parts were so cool and just the little guitar sounds he was doing and some of the vocals were really good and just even the song titles alone were like, oh, that's really cool. Like, it's just so, I mean,
It's
I've
so
definitely had to put two
intense,
and ten
right?
together.
Everything about that album is just intense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, just even the title itself and the just I know they say you should never judge something on its cover, but just even the cover alone is like, wow, that's not something you see every day.
Yep. I got really into it this last year. I just thought it was such a cool
Ah,
record
very good.
that you would appreciate.
No, yeah, yeah, and you were correct to think that.
So
The
yeah, we like music. This is why we like the Bond movies so much,
yeah,
I think, is the just again this wide range of music.
yeah,
And we can actually appreciate bringing it back to Die Another Day by Madonna.
yeah, yeah. And we're hoping, yeah, hoping that we get some more good music in the Bond movies coming up. I know the game had an pretty good music, um, and yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I
the
was
I
game,
was
the
really
yeah,
music was
surprised.
good. We
yeah.
we liked the Lana Del
Oh yeah,
Rey
the Lana Del
song. It
Rey
was
song's
good.
good. Yeah,
Yeah. I've that's one of my fantasies
yeah,
fulfilled. We finally got Lana
yeah.
Del Rey doing
Yeah, I
a
remember you've
Bond
been
intro.
barking up that tree since we started this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been wanting that for a
yeah,
long
yeah,
time.
yeah,
Hmm.
and then yeah,
To be fair though, at least when you did call that, like, say that, like Lana Del Rey, I mean, you would Tyler just said, you were saying that ages ago, so you like you were
yeah,
Yeah.
spot on.
No, I've wanted it for a long time. I'm so glad that it happened.
yeah,
You know, I just think she's perfect for that
yeah,
kind of vibe.
yeah. So
And
I
like
always
too, coming off the Billie Eilish song, like no, I don't have any like real issue with it necessarily.
yeah,
Like I think it's cool,
yeah,
but it's like you said when we were doing the music review, Tylord, it just doesn't hit that hard.
yeah,
It's a little, it feels a little light, I
yeah,
guess. Like they could have filled it out with some more sound, I think, and
yeah.
maybe made it better.
I don't know,
Well,
unless
kind of
like,
like the film itself, right? It's just a little, it just doesn't really hit,
I mean,
quite the way we'd like.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if that means it's necessarily bad, but it's not the way I wanted it to hit.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
but
It's not what we wanted
yeah.
necessarily.
So
But
yeah.
yeah.
But next time, I guess we're finally on to the Daniel Craig era. Next time, speaking of good opening songs,
Oh yeah.
um, and I can't wait to get back.
Casino.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back into the Daniel Craig because I kind of talk crap about the Daniel Craig era, but I'm thinking when I go back and rewatch it, I'm gonna like it way more. I mean, I always liked Casino Royale, of course, but I'm really
Oh
looking
yeah.
forward to getting back to Quantum of Solace because that's probably always like on the bottom of my list. But I kind of want to go.
I liked Quantum the
Yeah,
last time I watched it.
yeah,
I actually really enjoyed it more.
yeah. That's
So
what.
I'm really interested to
Yeah,
hear what your
yeah.
take on it
So I
is
can't wait
now.
to watch it again. I remember I liked a lot about it, but it wasn't ever really my favorite. So I can't wait
Mm-hmm.
to give. Yeah, so I can't wait to give the last few movies another try. Um,
Mm-hmm. For
and then
sure.
Dave, you're welcome to join us for any of those. If,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, nice one. Yeah, no, I'll be up for that. Yeah,
right on,
because
excellent, excellent. And then anything else? I don't want to plug anything too much because I don't know by the time I upload this, you guys probably already had
Right.
done 10, 20 videos. But anything you guys want to plug, you can let me go ahead and say it right now. If you guys are anything working on anything, if
Well, we just did the First Light full game playthrough
yeah,
for anybody who's interested. In case you missed it, that's over on my channel.
yeah, wasn't it?
Tyler, just drop a link, I guess, in the
Yeah,
bottom here
we can
for
do
the
that.
first episode or whatever.
Yeah, what an
We do the
adventure.
full playthrough.
Yeah,
It's a little rough. We had some technical issues kind of in the first half hour
yeah,
of the first episode, but just skip past it, and everything
mhm,
is good.
yeah,
And we play the whole game together.
mhm,
So we're doing commentary, we're talking about the game, we're talking about the film franchise, other movies. We got a good bit on Batman Forever in there for any
mhm,
Batman fans.
mhm.
It's like a 12, 15 hour set of like if you go watch the whole thing.
Yeah,
So we talk about all kinds of stuff.
yeah, it's quite an adventure.
Yeah, it was great. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
so exciting. Thank you again
Oh,
for
thank you.
streaming
Yeah,
it
yeah,
and letting me stream it on the channel. That was such a fun project, proof of concept that actually worked
yeah.
out. And now we're gonna do Batman Arkham
Yes,
Asylum,
I can't wait.
right, as a
Yeah,
playthrough.
yeah, totally
Um,
fresh play for me. I've never played it before, so you can walk me through it.
and we're
Yeah,
doing that
yeah,
because of how much that game clearly influenced 007
yeah,
First Light.
yeah. I can't wait to get into that. And I love Batman, and I just have never played that game. I wanted to save it for a special moment with my special friend. No, but I haven't. I just never played it. But I wanted I did wanted to play that
Yeah.
game. Yeah, yeah,
And I think that I can't say because we haven't done it yet, but I think that Tylord is going to enjoy it so much we'll end up doing at least the original trilogy
Oh,
from
okay.
the PS3 era. This
Yeah.
is my guess at this point. I
And
don't know. We'll have to see.
he also
But
yeah.
yeah.
he
Go
also
ahead.
pre- he
well, the
also
fact that you got all the way through First Light though, and you
yeah,
played it like you've done videos about completing the whole game. That's
yeah,
pretty
Yep.
cool. That
Yep.
is awesome.
yeah.
The
And
And
week
although
it
people
came
say it's
out, no
short,
less.
people say, "Oh, this game is short for $70." I thought it was long. Did you think it was?
Yeah. I no, dude, I thought that there was for a like
Yeah,
a linear narrative game,
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought it was damn impressive
yeah,
for the content that it had, how well
yeah,
produced it obviously was.
yeah,
I mean, like you said, it felt like a new movie.
yeah,
It felt like we're in a new James Bond movie. I mean, how cool is
yeah,
that?
yeah,
After what we had with No Time to Die,
yeah,
to a
yeah,
lesser extent Spectre, right? I
yeah,
mean, Skyfall was the last big one,
yeah,
right? Wouldn't you say, in a way, like as far as like really kind of standout experience?
yeah.
So
For me, it's Casino.
yeah, no, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree with you.
yeah,
I'm just saying that because
yeah,
that's what I think most people would
yeah,
say. But
yeah,
for me, it's the same.
yeah,
Casino was like the
yeah,
last really big one, I'd
yeah.
say,
I
for
mean, I
me,
know they've all been big and they've all made a lot of money, thankfully. Yeah,
Yeah.
but this felt like that. It felt like another movie
Yes.
premiere.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a new Bond,
yeah,
new original story, new
yeah.
music, all of the things,
Mhm,
and really good acting from everybody.
mhm.
Really great graphics, production,
Yeah.
all of it. I know it sounds like we're getting a kickback. We aren't getting anything for saying this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was just a really fun thing to do, and I'm so glad we could do it the week the game came out. You
Yes.
know, it's like just a really cool experience to have
Yeah.
and to be a part of. So thank
Mhm.
you again.
Oh, thank
Well, I
you.
felt like that was a real big. I feel like you could feel it in the air when that first light came out there.
Yeah.
Everybody was talking about it. Loads of people played it. I
Mhm.
was playing it loads.
Yeah.
I can take or leave video games loads. And I was playing it all the time. I knew
Yeah.
loads of people that were streaming it. You guys did videos. It was a big thing. You
Yeah.
could really tell that game
Yeah.
has had
No.
some kind of impact.
And
Yeah.
I wasn't even playing. I was just, broadcasting the stream and
Yeah.
watching Tylord do his playthrough, but I could
Mhm.
tell just watching it, like this is
Mhm.
a fantastic game.
Yeah. And then
Just the
so
the
we got,
production.
yeah, we got to get together. Dave, you can join us on it too. We got to do a review. I think
Yeah, for
Vince will,
sure.
the Dad Level podcast will went into that. I'm kind of hoping Omega will complete.
Yeah.
He's got so much on his plate with all the video games, but I'm hoping he can
Hmm.
beat it and he can join us. We can do a big review of that, and then
Yeah, that would be
also,
Yeah, that
awesome.
could be cool.
yeah, also the other thing, Wubs predicted that this Batman game, Arkham
Mhm.
Asylum, will overtake Batman Returns as my favorite video game. So we'll find we'll find
Right.
yeah.
I'm making
What?
that
Yeah.
prediction right now
Yeah.
that I think Returns is about to be dethroned. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I can
Well,
safely say that.
well, Arkham Asylum, though, it's one of the few video games I've actually played and completed,
Yeah.
and
Oh
I'll
wow.
be
Yeah.
fascinated to see what you think about it because I
Go.
really like that game. It's a really good game, but yeah, I
Wow.
mean,
Yeah.
let's see
Well,
how it
Dave,
goes, I
if
guess.
you're around, then like you should join the stream, man.
Yeah.
For
That
like
could be good,
you know,
yeah.
that would be very cool.
Excellent.
If you've got some time
Yeah.
potentially.
Well, that
Um,
could be cool, and I think with Batman though as well, I think a bit like with Bond, I think Batman is almost a more condensed version of this. There, I think it shows something about that character there, where you can have a game like Arkham Asylum, the '60s Batman TV show, and a cartoon version of Batman where it's like he's in
yeah.
space or something, but it's
Yeah.
the same character. It's
Yeah.
like how is that
Constantly
possible?
reinvented, right?
Yeah.
Batman Beyond, doing the future thing with all the
Yeah.
sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, like the Justice
And
League, he's always doing
yeah.
the sci-fi stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's always doing like the off-world stuff
Yeah.
with the Justice League.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
like
again,
it's so much variety there in the
Yeah.
franchise.
and again, a bit like with James Bond, I'm so glad that when I got into James Bond, I just took it at face value for what it was. Like, he's got like a,
Hmm.
a car that turns into a submarine or something like that. And I
Yeah.
didn't realize how in depth the books were.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like with Batman. When I first started getting into Batman, I thought it was just a guy with like a cool car,
Hmm.
to quote Christopher Reeve. I didn't realize, oh, his parents were shot, or
Yeah.
he was
Right.
like this brooding,
Yeah.
billionaire that was depressed.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a guy that punch people in the face. I didn't
Yeah.
realize there was
You
all
didn't
this
know
depth.
why, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a bloke. I thought,
Yeah.
So it's just like
Yeah.
I'm glad I came at it from that viewpoint, but
Yeah.
it unlocks all these other things. So I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And as well, this blew my mind when I first found out this. But I was like, why is Bob Kane so light-hearted about how he created Batman? I felt like anytime I heard an interview with Bob Kane, he was just like, "Yeah, I just invented all this stuff just off the top of my head."
Yeah.
And then when I realized he co-created it with Bill Finger, and I
Mhm.
read a list of all the things Bill Finger that created, and he created like the Batcave, the Joker,
Yeah.
the
Wow.
Batmobile, all the list of stuff, and it was like, and then he said to Bill Finger, "Do you want any credit for this?" He was like, "Nah." And just walked away from the whole thing. Like it was just like,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh wow.
And it's
Yeah.
a bit like with Stan Lee though. Anytime I know Stan Lee, and he was amazing. But anytime I heard interviews with Stan Lee, just be like, oh, I created this character in 5 minutes, and
Yeah.
oh, I just, it was so like as if he did it like on a whim. And
Yeah.
then when you hear these other interviews with like people like Steve Ditko and all these other people, it's like they created the costumes, they created the backstory, they created the character design and everything. So it's like no wonder when he was like, yeah, I created this character in 5 minutes, but he didn't say somebody else did all this other work.
Yeah, all the art production. The writers can say that, right? The artists are the ones that are putting in the hours and the sweat for making the visual medium, right? So yeah.
But don't get me wrong, like say some of these people, like say Bob Kane and Stan Lee, the Bob Kane and Stan Lee for a reason.
Sure.
They're pretty iconic.
Absolutely. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. I just think an artist would never say, "Oh yeah, I made this in 5 minutes."
Yeah.
Like someone who
probably did.
actually
Okay,
draws.
so there's this guy named Spider-Man, and he has and he wears a mask, and he has spider powers. And then okay, well we got you, Stan, or what?
Right.
Well, it's a bit like with George Lucas, and I absolutely adore George Lucas, though.
Yeah.
But if you ever say to most people, "Oh, who created Star Wars?" they say, "Oh, George Lucas," but then they won't say this giant list of people who've designed characters, voice characters, built sets, like the sound design, drew the posters, the music, and everything. But it's like, yeah, George Lucas made Star Wars, apart from there's 2,000 other people as well.
Yeah, just a few other people who were marginally involved. Yeah.
But that Die Another Day, it was alright, wasn't it?
Oh man.
What about you, Dave? You got anything you want to plug? Any projects or no?
Just sort of just keep ticking along with the YouTube channel. I feel like I've always got a list of YouTube videos that me and my mate are going to do. I think, I'm going to do this, going to do this, and then we just keep putting it off, and then like I feel like we'll do a video and it just appears overnight. It's like we've done another video, and it's like, oh, I'll have to do another one soon, and it's like 6 months till we do it. And but there's never no real reason why, and I feel like we're doing some YouTube shorts where I feel like we should do them all the time because me and my mate were always noticing silly things or just going to a film or like listening to music or playing video games or something. So there's no reason why I don't do videos all the time. It's just one of them things. But
I feel you.
Yeah, no, but Dave, you're an enthusiast. You're actually legit. Like you just want to like watch a movie.
Yeah, don't make it into a job. Just do it like how you do it. It makes it feel very genuine. Yeah, but
very organic.
Yeah,
that
just
way,
keep well, just everyone keep your eye on Dave's channel. You never know, a surprise might pop up. We don't know. Dave doesn't know. It'll just pop up one day. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I've said this before, and I really appreciate all that stuff you just said. But I always think back to this. But when I was a teenager growing up, there was this magazine that was released on VHS. It was called Click, and they reviewed like video games and talked to people who made video games and stuff like that. And the first 2 issues of this magazine on VHS came out quite quickly. They came out like within like a month of each other. And then me and my friend were waiting for the 3rd issue, and it took like a year and a half to come out. And I always think back to that. I was like, it'll come out eventually. And I think like it's a bit like with my YouTube channel. It's like there'll be another video at some point. So yeah, just but nice one. Thanks for the compliments. And all us guys, we'll all have new content up at some point. So yeah, awesome.
I do want to say I forgot. I'm doing a game review series of Alice Madness Returns right now, a game from the PS3 360 era, and so far I've just got 1 episode up, but I think the game's going to be like 12 hours probably, so there's probably going to be 5 to 6 episodes where I'll be talking to someone and just introducing them to the game, and we'll be talking about like their gaming history and just other stuff that they like to play and things like that. And just pop culture in general, so it's a very casual series I'm experimenting with here, very different from what I've done in the past.
Yeah, I enjoyed your first episode of that, which that's up on your channel.
I'm glad. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was really great. That's with my friend Suzanne, and it was really cool to hear about her history with you know, just how she got into gaming and other stuff that she's enjoyed. So I think it'll be really fun when we do the Batman game for the same reason, kind of, because I'm gonna want you to tell me about all the other Batman games you played growing up and stuff like that, and we'll get into more of the history stuff while we, you know, play the newer stuff.
Yeah, heck yeah.
You know, that'll be really fun.
Well, I played a little tiny bit of that interview that you did, and it seemed good, so I can't wait to listen to the whole thing. And hopefully, if you do a few episodes, it should be good. Excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Dave. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. Yeah.
Well, I guess we can move on to Casino next time. Be sure to check out, keep a lookout for Dave's next video, and keep an eye out for Wubs' next upload. For now, you got anything else to say, Wubs?
Do you expect me to talk more?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die!
Well done, boys. Another successful mission. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this debriefing, please like and share it with your friends.
Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.